Hold on a second. I broke something. There we go.
There we go.
Never trust an Italian man to run a show. Ever.
That's
Well,
why
hello
I'm not hosting it.
everyone. Yeah. So happy Monday, everyone. Glad you can all join us. Hello to everyone in the chat. Got a fun show for you tonight. Got some new guests on for the first time. My Twitter buddies here. Are we just going by our screen names? Is that what we're doing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody knows me, and then we have White Bear too, and of course the great Copa, the great ass Catania today. Welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate you coming on. We got a fun one tonight. We're going to review and discuss the movie Heat, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, 1995 classic, and get into that in a few minutes here. But how's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure, buddy. Yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun on Twitter for a while now, and I just figured let's get this going. Great personalities. I said this is going to be a good show because they think like I do and they talk like I do. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, a lot of YouTube cuts coming probably from this, but hey, we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and let's start introducing yourself. So, White Bear, you want to start? Tell us about yourself and where we can find you.
Well, hold on one second, getting those notes ready. All right. Well, hola, I'm White Bear, or Whitey, whatever. And I make a political commentary or commentary funny videos on YouTube. And like both of you, I enjoy good movies and all that fun stuff. Obviously from the South, so you'll have to forgive my my accent, y'all. It'll be around my two Italian here and all that. So, yeah, I'm at White Bear Whitey on Twitter, and White Bear 2 is my YouTube channel. So, hit me up, waka waka.
Copa.
Cool.
Yo. I've been a 12-year veteran of screenwriting, editing, and directing. And then I switched gears and started writing books. And then I switched gears again in the middle of that to do movie reviews on YouTube. And now I'm doing live streams with you and White Bear or White.
Wow, you've really gone downhill, man. I'm sorry if you're on live streams with me from all that. Wow.
Well, express elevator going to hell.
Yeah. Well, you're in the right one.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you can join us for the fun. All these guys, their descriptions, all their social media stuff and YouTube channels are in the description in this video on YouTube. So if you want to hit them up, please subscribe there. And all their info is on there already because got to come prepared. So, yeah. So so this kind of came as a joke on Twitter. We were doing these gifs. Is that how you say of heat?
It's a gift.
Heat gifts.
It's a gift. Okay. Of Heat, and then it just turned into let's why not do a movie review on this movie because this is one of my favorite movies ever. Obviously, I'm a massive Pacino. Well, I used to be a big De Niro fan. So obvious reasons why I'm not as much anymore. But massive Pacino fan. So, yeah. So what do you guys make of this movie? Why do you guys like this movie so much?
Why do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, go.
Well, I think it's because, well, first of all, it makes probably the best crime drama to ever hit the screen. And I think it's because you have two men who are so professional and so one-track minded in their professionalism that when they come ahead, you kind of admire their ambition because it's just completely, their ambition is so one-tracked that it's destructive. It's destructive to De Niro when he doesn't follow his discipline anymore. And it's destructive to Pacino because all he is who he's chasing. And I think that's the morality of the tale as well. I think it hits home because everybody realizes that these people are real with real lives, and there is a certain um, destruction that happens that goes along with what they're doing. There's ramifications and ripple effects, and Michael Mann shows a really detailed, oriented way. He shows just what those ramifications are, and it hits home because you're going to recognize at some point something, whether it is a broken home, a divorce, a relationship that falls apart, those types of things that seem to go overlooked in this genre. That, and it has a very epic gun battle scene in the middle of it. That helps.
Yeah, shooting guns is always good.
Yeah.
What about you, White Bear? Why do you like this movie so much?
Well, now we know why Copa is the movie review guy. He's awesome at it.
Of course, right? That was some detail.
I know. Let's repeat that so I can, use that later on another channel.
Write notes, take notes.
Yeah. So, like he was saying, it's in a time before woke. This movie was doing so much. It's that what makes it a classic is that it was just a story. It's just a story about two men on different sides of it, and looking into it, which I'll do a ton of trivia with you two later, but they had pretty broken things going on in their lives. They were both supposed to be serving in the Marines at one time, and showing their lives now. And like I said, it's really a guy that is what he chases, and some dramatic, almost poetry from his soon-to-be ex-wife or whatever. Where she basically talks about, she comes home, basically spends time with, with him. That's basically a dead person until, he does what he does. It's a epic movie because, it's got a wonderful, some good gunfights, ones that were used actually for training videos and stuff like that. And how Michael Mann set everything up with the mics all around the entire area of their shot instead of dubbing in gunshot audio later. It made it, feel real, feel realistic. Nothing in the movie was, I feel like, too over the top other than Al Pacino.
We'll get into that for sure. Yeah.
That's because he was on cocaine.
Yeah, that's because he, that part that was cut out was that he was on the coke and all that, and
he's got to be sharp and on the edge.
Yeah, and
where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, he's, I guess, really like that thrill seeker. Constantly getting that high, and I'm trying to
literally
remember the movie. Yeah, trying to remember the movie to kind of compare it to what was that French Connection or something. But a Gene Hackman movie, basically, where so the job is his life, and
it's another movie about ambition, bland ambition.
And but this focuses also on the bad guy, the quote unquote bad guy. He's basically the bad guy, but he's the guy on the other side trying to get that one last score before he finally says, "Hey, I'm done, and gonna try to do that whole new life thing." But to sum that up is, it's a movie before so many more agendas were put into movies, and I can appreciate it for that, and I can appreciate that it's just a good movie.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on something. I'm sorry. There must be a little bit of a delay.
There is like a few seconds. Let's go. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I already forgot what I was going to say, so never mind.
Oh, typical of you.
I know. I don't have notes.
No, that's White Bear came prepared, and he's making me look bad. So I'm just kidding.
He's making us both look bad.
No. Everything
I appreciate that.
Everything I'll bring up here, I'm sure both of you will be able to kind of.
I'm glad you do. That's why I brought you guys on, because I know you're both knowledgeable about this stuff. So you're right. And then you're right. It was a time when movies was about storytelling. Now, Michael Mann also does a great job in his movies, bringing the atmosphere the city alive. Like he's a big LA. Most of his movie, I remember the movie Collateral with Cruise. I mean, he brought parts of LA you didn't even know existed. It's just the way he films it. It feels new.
You know,
and
I'm from LA.
as a character. Well, there you go.
No, I'm from LA. What I was saying is I was watching it again last night, and there's locations that I just don't recognize. Collateral as well. You know, there's a lot of locations in Collateral where I'm like, where did he find this?
Yeah, it's incredible. His film style is unique, and even later in his other movies, you know, not the more popular ones like Miami Vice, he still captured like the essence of Miami, but he went beyond it. It's really amazing what he can do. But for me in this movie, what I was most excited about it was the powerhouse acting. Now, Al Pacino is extremely over the top, and this is that era where his voice was raspy, scream. I mean, this goes from Heat all the way through. I don't know what year The Devil's Advocate came out. I don't know if it was
97, I believe.
So it was around that time, and there's another movie where he's just insane. Yeah. So, people see him as that over actor. This movie, he definitely went above, but it still entertained the hell out of me.
I think he was supposed to go above, especially when he's talking to his CIs, especially when he's talking to his CIs, because he's always trying to catch him off guard.
Yeah.
You notice he never overacts when it's De Niro across from him in the restaurant. Right. He never overacts, or his wife. He's never overacting anywhere else. But when it's the CIs, she's got a great ass.
Oh God.
That's over the top.
I laughed out loud.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have to.
Every time you see it.
You got your head all the way up.
One of the best scenes. Yeah, it's one of the best scenes ever.
I think that's what started up this video. Yeah,
you see Hank Azaria, he's taken aback. Like, oh my God, this guy is.
Well, that scene, that's one of the trivia things. That scene was improvised by Pacino. He just did that on a whim. And Azaria was like, this scared the hell out of me. And that reaction is his real reaction.
Yeah. And you can totally tell. He's just taken aback. Like, what the? This guy's just going to eat my head off.
I didn't know.
And that's another thing with this movie, the cast. Yeah, man. Yeah. I didn't know that either and then the cast in this movie. Oh my God. Tom Sizemore, it's Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer,
Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump was in this.
Yes,
that's right. He
the
was
Allstate guy.
Partner. The guy from Last of the Mohicans was in this. Yeah. He was his other partner.
President from 24 and Allstate guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, man, he's younger looking.
Yeah, this is a deep bench, and even the cameos. You got Hank Azaria in there.
Mm-hmm.
Who else just?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie
Portman. She was a kid, but
Amy Brenneman.
Amy Brenneman.
This is amazing. And then just the way the movie opens up with the truck scene and the heist.
Oh, it doesn't give you it doesn't let you ease into it.
It goes. It jumps right in.
I guess you get 2 minutes or 3 minutes of him walking and making his walk over there, and all that, and then, but the real first part of the movie, you can see how this would draw an audience and keep their attention, because as soon as you get in, it's right at it and automatically makes a statement, which is, they get in there, they do something, and they're well organized, and then somebody does something wrong, Waingro there. So
God, that guy in the movie was Waingro. It's like what you guys were saying about storytelling and how it used to be the prominent feature in a movie. Like the movie, like you said, in the first 5 minutes sets you up, you're hooked, and you can without saying anything. Like today's movies literally have to spell everything out for you. Yeah. They think their audiences are stupid. This movie doesn't. It just these guys are organized. That they're ready to go. And then even Pacino in the very beginning, when he's telling his wife goodbye, she's like, I'll make coffee, and he's like, I don't have time. He's running out of the house. Mm-hmm. It's like, even a little scene like that, you're like this guy, it's all this is exactly what you said. This is his life. You can tell where this story's going to go eventually, even when the first time you see the movie, because this is, and then of course when Pacino gets on the scene, that's one of my favorite scenes of the movie. He's just pointing fingers at things, and the guys are telling him exactly what he wants to hear. And you're like, okay, this guy's in charge. He knows his business. He's excellent at what he does.
Right.
And he's reading everything. He already knows the answers before he's even getting them back. But that's part of his thing. And
what's interesting about that first scene, the first couple scenes, it's just them getting ready for work.
Mhm.
It just so happens their work is nowhere close to what normal people's jobs are. And
Right,
so you have De Niro stealing an ambulance. You have Chris Hairless buying shape charges, and and charging it to tax demolition Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson. Yep.
Yeah, but the Pacino scene is interesting because if you pay attention to the dialogue on that one, everybody's talking about something different. His wife is talking about hanging out and making breakfast. He's talking about his daughter. His daughter's talking, or his stepdaughter, and his stepdaughter's talking about her real dad.
Mhm.
That entire house is dysfunctional, and you know that from scene one.
Yeah.
And they don't come out and scream and yell and shout and say we're dysfunctional. It's just a bunch of dialogue that doesn't make sense if you take it apart. Like everybody's talking over each other, and they all live in their own little worlds. And what's important, today's modern movie making and writers don't seem to understand that anymore. That you can do a lot without saying anything at all.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
you can see
Go
that,
ahead,
you know,
Micah.
when it was introducing, the stepdaughter there, she was panicked and worried, but almost on a level where you suddenly are like, well, she might have like OCD and depression that usually is, along with that. And, she has problems, that's not, Pacino's not her biological dad, and she's extremely panicked. And, the mom is, not only does she not notice, but she really, is just in that point where you can tell, she probably smoked something before she came downstairs or whatever, before, all that.
Doesn't she take a pill? Doesn't she take like a Xanax pill or something
so
beforehand?
It just shows
smoking
everything.
like half a pack of cigarettes by
noon.
Like,
like Cubby was saying, it didn't have to like necessarily hold your hand, but it's kind of like going over your friend's house, that one friend that you had when you were younger, and you're like, oh shit, I need, like, I want to go back home. I appreciate
I'm not comfortable here, please.
Right. These people are like, they live that way.
Right.
Yeah. We live that way, so it's like that. And it gives you that quick little introduction right there.
Yeah, it's amazing how it starts, and then it's pretty much, to me, I know a lot of people, the negatives I hear is that the movie's slow in parts. It's like, even the parts that do slow down. The one I say, if I had to give one negative, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, the love interest De Niro thing felt like it was a little bit forced in there just to kind of give him some sympathy. I don't know. As I watch it now more, as I'm older, I accept it more. I see what they were trying to do, because this is a guy who's his last few missions. He wants to get out of the business. He wants to settle down. He keeps getting pushed into these situations because he's like, this is it. I gotta do these big scores and get out. And exactly.
Right.
And it's like, so no, that's a good point. So go there. Like, if you had to pick a negative out of the movie, what's your one thing you can say, I wish they would have did this differently?
Well, I kind of agree on that, even though I like, I know what's there. It has to be there. It's, to show you what he wants, what exactly he wants to do, why he wants to get away. And when he's sitting at the, the party, and De Niro and he's, Neil, he's looking at all the couples basically. And he's like, it's pretty noticeable. Like, I'm the lonely guy here, like, so, and then he goes and calls her up and, asks if she's free again. And, man, she looked like way younger than him, but I know for every time that I rewatched the movie, in the past, a couple of weeks, just trying to get refreshed on it. That's the scenes that I skip, because I care about it the least. I know it's there, and it's important that it's there, and their conversation and all that. But like, to me, it's like that's the quickest hookup in the world. That person's ready to go apparently at any time and leave her design stuff and all that behind. Like, yeah, sure, whatever, and ask no questions. Like, you are pretty freaking lonely in LA, but okay, but either way,
it happens.
The acting though on both of their parts, I felt was good, especially hers. So that's probably my least least favorite and most skips. Like I said, every time that I rewatched it, I'm like, yeah, I get this part. Let's go ahead and skip on because I like more of the intricate details. I'm not, I'm there for the grit, not exactly for the tit. I don't know. I can't really rhyme.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah. All right, Copa.
Like the romance part doesn't really bug me because it all culminates in the end to his demise. Really, like he doesn't. Now he has something in his life that he can't drop in 30 seconds flat. He's actually begging her to come along. He's actually she's dragging him behind, and he's letting her. Yeah. He's kind of like chasing after her after the bank heist went completely south. And he's running around asking her, like, come on, you want to come with me? He could have been gone so many times that he could have left. So it kind of makes sense to me, to have that relationship in there because it does drag him down at the end. But the one part that has always thrown me off with the film is the small little part where Waingro kills the hooker. Yeah, I never understood why exactly that was in there. And then a couple of scenes later, Al Pacino's called away from his party to go investigate, I'm guessing, another dead hooker, but it's not the same girl as the girl that Waingro killed. And those two scenes kind of seem to be out of place. And the only reason why, I don't know why Waingro kills the hooker. And I just, that still doesn't really, you could cut that out. I wish that was explained more.
No, it makes sense though, because what there, I mean, if you're going to show him as being this like crazy, deranged, like that's not how he was portrayed. He's portrayed as stupid.
Well,
but
if you cut that scene out,
killer. Yeah.
If you cut that scene out, he still shows up teaming up with William Fincher, who we also didn't praise, but he teams up with William Fincher anyways, and it had nothing to do with the hooker. Right. So I really never got that. But the only reason why I think they added the Al Pacino leaving the party to go see it to oversee the other dead hooker. I'm guessing it's a dead hooker. They never really said that, but the dead girl is just so he can further fracture his relationship. But even then, that seemed kind of flimsy. So those are the two scenes that I usually skip or just go do something real quick when it's on.
I mean, the movie's so long. Which is fine. It serves its purpose, and of course to this great ending, I think. But so I have some facts about the movie.
Heat facts.
Heat facts. We'll go through some of these. I know one of them was actually, and Copa reminded me of this last weekend about how this was based off of, Michael Mann had created a TV movie called LA Takedown. And Copa was like, "Oh, we're going to talk about LA Takedown." I go, "Holy shit." I said, "I forgot about LA Takedown." So I went on YouTube, watched it. It's TV movie that Michael Mann wrote. Obviously, thank God, he thought better to recreate this as a movie later on. LA Takedown is like an hour and a half long. And it's really interesting because Copa had a great point, like that the heart of the movie is, you could see the heart of the movie in this TV movie. It's not the worst made for TV movie, but it's a made for TV movie. The editing is bad. The acting is kind of in some parts. But it does make you appreciate Heat much more when you watch it.
It feels longer. It feels longer than Heat.
It does. Yeah, because some of the pacing is really bad. And like
so bad.
You're looking at that and going, Michael Mann made this. It's crazy to think the same guy who made this masterpiece made this TV movie. I don't know how many years before was it though. Was that like?
Was it better than?
I think it was like
1988's.
It was like 88.
Right.
No. Let's see. I could look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Because that's one thing I didn't check. I couldn't find the exact year that he made that. Because that was interesting.
Yeah, 89.
Wow, and this was 95, so it took him a while to get this made.
Yeah, well, he had to go make Last of the Mohicans first and win a bunch of Academy Awards for that, and then Warner Brothers said, "All right." Yeah, it was. It really was.
That's another movie I wish the love story was taken out, but I understood why it was in there. So in this movie, here's one little fact. There was only one digital effects scene in the whole movie.
Okay.
Everything else was practical. Which for 1995, I would think most movies were practical. Obviously, CGI was nowhere on the level of what we have now, even though the movies today look worse than they did from 1995.
Oh, yeah. Look
So
like a Jurassic Park.
yeah, so it's the part where, and I you could tell the scene, and when De Niro's talking to his girlfriend on the patio of his apartment, and he's overlooking LA. You look out and you can definitely see that it's CGI. It's a fake background. It's the it's a green screen.
Yeah, he's definitely pieced out from that.
So that was the only scene in the whole movie, and it's kind of weird to me. It's like, well, why that scene? I don't know if it was based on budget or just they couldn't get a certain area, or that was just because that's all they could do at that time. But that was weird.
If I'm a guessing man, they probably couldn't get the lighting schemes right or something.
Probably.
That's what I'm guessing.
Now, where was this? Where was this scene?
It's the scene. I think it's the scene where he's talking to. Yeah, go ahead, Kobe. You probably can explain it better.
Well, I believe it's the scene right after they first meet. So when he goes back and they have drinks right before they
like out on the balcony.
Trade, huh? I'm not going to say it now. Well, yes, when they're on the balcony.
Okay. Yeah, fluids. So on one side, you can see.
I was going to say cards, but okay, fluids.
Yeah, fluids is good.
Yeah, we're so clean here. But so on one side you got like the cityscape and all that, and then on the other side you have water, I guess. Yeah, it was just
because it's LA, right?
I believe it's her place because his place is in Malibu. So I think it's her place because she says her place overlooks the city. It's got a beautiful, beautiful view.
She must have a hell of a job.
Yeah, and graphic designers in LA pay a lot apparently, where they only make 2 CDs and I don't know.
Apparently,
yeah,
a phone book cover, and all of a sudden she's got a house that's overlooking.
She's got a beautiful, God knows what that apartment cost, and even in 1995.
I mean, I guess back then it might have been, a way more amazing skill to have, but she must have had some good work up until then, like. Pay off like that because I don't know.
She must have been sleeping with some other bank robbers.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. One interesting thing, sticking to Amy Brenneman. Yeah. So Michael Mann had to convince her to actually be in the movie. She did not like the script, and the reason why is because she said that she's tired of men and guns at that period in time. Too bloody. So he said, all right, you're perfect for the role because that's the actual character I want. So he convinced her by saying that, and she agreed to it, and then there you go. So
did he also say to her, you didn't read the script, did you?
Yeah. And he went up to her and said, his words exact in that case, he goes, no, I heard you don't like my script, why not? And then she told him.
Oh, okay. Because if she told me that, if she sat there and said, hey, your script, there's too much blood and guns and stuff like that, I'd say, well, you didn't really read it, did you? Because there's not that much in it until you get to the middle. Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. For an actress, now that I think about it, for an actress to make it to the middle, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Well, it's like early Megan Fox stuff there, but suddenly getting offended by what they're making money off of, but whatever. And didn't she? Okay, she was supposed to be formerly a prostitute.
Who? Ashley Judd?
Yeah, Ashley Judd.
Was she supposed to be a prostitute? I got the feeling, but they never explained that.
Because supposedly, from some of the facts here, saying that
I always got the feeling that she was some kind of hustler.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
She just got involved, and then
Well, she's got the survivor mentality throughout that film.
Right.
Oh yeah, but then it was indicated that later in the movie, like she had a bad childhood growing up, right? And then the cop was trying to tell her, "Hey, you don't want your son to go through what you did, so give up." Chris, played by Val Kilmer, and she agrees. But even I knew back then she wasn't giving him up. But we'll get to that part, of course. I will say that excuse me, the movie's only been out for 50 years. Spoilers. According to this, realism was very important to Michael Mann, which you can tell. He's very, like I said, the practical, the way he films, entirely on location in LA, shot for 107 days at 95 locations. Nothing on a soundstage that whole time, which is incredible, right? So you get,
except for that green screen, right?
Except for that one crappy green screen part.
Yeah.
Another fun fact was that the people who could have played Vincent, which was Al Pacino's part, which this is wild. So I guess Mel Gibson, Nick Nolte, and Don Johnson were his second choices.
That one guy.
Miami Vice, bringing it back.
Yeah, bringing it back with Michael Mann, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he would have to wear the white suit, the white jacket, and the purple shirt, and all the...
Yeah, and the no socks with the loafers.
Yeah. And you got to play the Miami Vice theme somewhere. Well, why didn't he just bring him back from Miami Vice?
They should have just been a Miami Vice TV movie.
Just,
should have been.
Who wouldn't have liked to see that? I mean, we got what? Colin Farrell and Jamie... Was it Jamie Foxx? Who was it?
Yeah, should have been
Foxx.
Yeah, it was Jamie Foxx. And he should have been chasing, what was it? Philip Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who should have played Neil.
I mean, a keytar in the background.
I don't understand that. But but I'm glad they picked Al Pacino, of course, because I think at that point most people were clamoring to see these two together in a movie. Of course, the closest we got up to that point was the Godfather Part 2, but they never were in the same scenes together.
Right.
But the same movie. And as a fan of those guys, as I was growing up, I was like, God, how do you get these two together? It's the same now when you look back and trying to get Stallone and Schwarzenegger back then. Well, they hated each other then, but and then we got the Expendables, and it's like, not the payoff I wanted. Even though I like those movies, as stupid, fun action movies, it just didn't feel the same. But
I kind of remember because I was, 95, so I was 13. I kind of remember going, why haven't they made a movie together? Like they went probably a decade.
I thought that they had. Because of the whole Godfather stuff. When I was a kid, I thought, well, surely they've made mob movies together. No, they hadn't. Yeah. And
I would only guess because of budget issues, maybe. At that time, they were probably the highest paid. Power. Yeah. So for him to convince those two to get together was amazing.
Yeah, their 80s period, though, was rocky at best. Like, if you think, not Rocky Balboa.
That's true.
But, it's Stallone. Yeah, Stallone.
Back to
Stallone could have played in Heat. He could have been Pacino's part.
That would have been interesting.
He got the chops for that, though.
Yeah. I don't know if his great ass scene wouldn't have been the same. Because she's got a great ass. Got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it. It's not Adrian's ass, but it's a great ass. It's great. And it doesn't stink. Let's see who's in the chat real quick. We got a lot of people watching here. So we got John A. Douglas, Nigel Ninja November Neighborhood Niche. Say that 5 times fast. This guy's channel is awesome. He plays like retro Ninja Turtle games, and it's like
that's it.
That's it. It's amazing. I just sit here while I'm working sometimes, and I'm like, okay, nostalgia overload.
Like the arcade Ninja Turtle game.
Like he plays like the Game Boy versions and the whatever the newer one that came out, and the Super Nintendo versions and the regular Nintendo. And he fan made ones as well. It's hilarious.
He's got a new subscriber.
Yeah, it's seriously, it's a great channel. It's if you like retro gaming, especially, it's an awesome channel. So go check that out.
Like his name is trying to get me in trouble.
No, do it. No, I try to pronounce his name. Jacob Ironside. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming in. Let's see. We got my friend Diana, who's always with me on the chat today, though. Double G Greg's in here as always. Is that now? I'm gonna guess this is it Jana Catania? Am I saying that right?
That's my lovely wife. Hi, wife.
Oh, I figured so. Hello,
wife.
Hello, yeah. Mrs. Thank you for joining.
That is Jana Catania.
Jana Catania. That's why. I thought I said that. Maybe I didn't. No, I butchered your name. Okay.
Hey. Yana.
Jana. No, don't do that.
Jana.
We got the Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, of course. Thank you.
Both the wives are in.
Yeah. Let's see. Meg Lathram is in here. How you doing, Meg? Thank you for joining. Let's see. I got my kid in here who likes to watch and make fun of me while I'm streaming. Abomination AJ was in here before. I think he has his own show going on, but he popped in to say hello. Abomination AJ is awesome. You want some good content. Anthony Catania. You got your whole family watching? Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who that is. I'm just
Well, he's
kidding.
got
That's
your
my
last
brother.
name.
That's my older brother.
Okay. He's giving lines out from the movie, which is awesome. It's one of my favorite
Anthony
lines.
or Anthony?
It's Tony.
Tony. Yeah.
Tony.
Hey,
We
don't
got a
shut
boy,
up.
weird world comedy, who's also Advent Rant. He's got like
Advent,
17
Oh,
names,
Advent.
Yeah.
20 channels. He's awesome though. Get your internet fixed though. Jesus.
Yeah, he's making special videos today.
He's making some special stuff. So we got JT in here. We love action. And let's see, Grumpy Old Vaping Gamer, one of my favorite people. Plays Zelda games all day and then just makes fun of people. It's great. I love him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're caught up on the chat. Wife Strong, Jana says, yes, that is true.
Wife Strong.
Yeah.
Hey, take care of
Tadia
that
Burns
baby.
is in here. Hey.
Hey, Tadia.
We got a lot of people. Yeah, so I'm guessing a lot of these people are from your because listen, only one of us here has over 1,000 followers on Twitter. Not naming names. It ain't me.
White Bear, what have you done?
No, it's you.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Not that I keep track or anything. I don't keep track.
Well, well, I don't. I can't explain it.
It's cold
Well,
outside, so my followers have kind of retracted. So yeah,
It's because of
Yeah.
my brother. My brother brings
Oh.
them all in.
Yeah.
He probably brought all of his friends in here tonight too.
Good. Hey, the more the merrier. I'm
I'll
all
take 'em.
for it. I'm all for it.
He's a good older brother, you know.
Yeah. So we're all. I guess our YouTube channels are all relatively newish, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
For the most part.
we've all started.
Again,
out
one of us here has more subscribers than the other. I'm not naming names. Copa.
Well, oh, White Bear, what have you done again?
No. Listen, both of you guys' channels are growing. Copa is going crazy.
Yeah,
I think it was the Weird Al review that pushed you over the top.
Everybody was clamoring for my hot takes on Weird
The
Al.
non-parody review.
Mhm.
The non-parody review of Weird Al, and it just
Yeah.
blew up.
It literally had my wife laughing all the way home. I
It was
had
hilarious.
My phone playing for her, and I was just,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I can't explain why the channel's blowing up. I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, you
You
do
know,
great commentaries. So.
You do good. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank
It's
you.
like
we
you've written
combine-
or something before.
Yeah. If we can combine our powers.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm doing this. We're gonna
It's
be
one
the
retarded-looking Voltron.
that is true.
Yeah.
But who's
and
who's the head,
guess
I guess.
Well, you guys are going to have to figure that out.
I
'cause
got the
guess I'm-
hair.
You do
I
have
guess
the
I'm
hair.
the
I don't have the
penis.
hair. Okay.
Would I be
Okay.
the feet or the knees?
I don't know. I'll be the anus.
You're the
I guess.
great ass.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'll be
the
the
great
great
ass.
ass. Jacob Ironside says I'm a Copa fanboy. I like the man. I like both these men. They're amazing.
I love
Hey,
all of
hey.
you guys.
We have the most fun on Twitter than anybody else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just having a blast. You guys should
Yeah.
all join us.
Yeah.
Kill their notifications every morning.
Yeah, hit that notification bell.
Mhm.
Look, we got
Yeah.
Janet in the chat saying she's also a Copa fan. Copa, this is his world. We're living in it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah.
What is going
Damn
on?
it, Janet.
I don't know who. He's got his family in here. He's got his brother.
Well, you
God
know
knows
how
who else.
Italians are. They
Italian
roll deep,
thing.
but well, thank you,
Big
Janet.
families.
I'm also a fan of Janet's.
Is this true? Is this your brother, White Bear?
White Bear.
Ooh. Oh, sorry. I was just actually reading it. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what?
I
Oh,
think
no,
I thought he froze.
That's the guy who showed me the movie. That's my father right there, actually.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hey,
hello,
Pop.
Father Bear. Can I call him
Yeah.
Papa Bear? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa Bear.
I was actually we had a big old couch, and my dad, he was anytime that we do a review on a good classic movie like this, it's probably sitting on the couch with him, and he was one of the first people around that I knew who did like the whole everywhere was a surround sound system,
Yep.
and had the big screen, and he was very very up to date on all of his tech, got everything transferred over to CDs and stuff like that, and CD burners back when that was a thing, going on. So dude knew what he was doing. But anyway, any of those classic movies, he made sure to show me and didn't limit it for me. Like, when I was too young, he might have like covered my eyes or covered my ears or something like that, because he would preview it before, he showed it to me and all that, because, that way you can know what parts are coming up and all that. But he, that was one of my things that I really was so proud of my parents about, is that they didn't really hide that crap from me. And as far as, that's movies, a lot of that is, some people's real lives, it's kind of the reality in a way, but shown to you in a, movie format. So, getting to show your children movies as they progress in age and all that is extremely important. And
yeah, I agree with you.
Is.
Weird World Comedy Advent is going to steal his neighbors. Your neighbors have shitty internet like you do. Well, isn't his? I think his closest neighbor, he told me, he's like 100 miles away because he's in the middle of the woods. So I don't know what that means. I just told him to have them build a tower next to your house. Like, what the hell's the point? I'm watching this guy stream every time, and he keeps going in and out, in and out.
I'm picturing him just going down there with a cable. With
That's
the
what I'm
longest
saying.
cable in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, just running back into his house.
Yeah, twisting the Ethernet cable altogether
with twinkle toes.
Yeah,
it is a family show. Yeah.
And then I love the wife.
Welcome to my entire family. Welcome. Hi, how you doing?
Yes, we appreciate you.
You are all
grumpy with Italians. Yeah. I was just talking about this on a stream last night. They were asking what my favorite family TV show was, and I said Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're Italian, not even if you're Italian, just dealing with the whole aspect of mother-in-laws but that aspect of the Italian mother-in-law, especially when you live next to any mother-in-law, it's bad. An Italian mother-in-law,
forget about it.
I feel like I should be getting served some breadsticks at some point with all this going on. You got cannoli and copa.
Well, you make pizza, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you make pizza?
All right, so I don't make pizza. I'm Italian. I don't even make pizza.
Yeah. In fact, that's what I ate right before I came on. So that's why I was late.
Did you make your own?
He's got Yeah. He does. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, you should talk to my wife. My wife makes her own pizza. She doesn't share with me. She says, "Go get your own."
I gotta do 40 pounds a day.
You got another fan, Copa. Look at this.
This is ridiculous.
Your bald head is hypnotic. He said.
Ooh, well. Call me later.
Which one? Are we? I was going to say, we're talking about the. Never mind.
Yeah. Which one?
Oh God, we're sick.
This all happened yesterday, by the way. I used to have hair. Yesterday I had a big afro.
Wow,
how big though? Like, we talking about Abdul-Jabbar, old school?
Oh yeah, it was Abdul-Jabbar. It was out to here,
puffed out.
Oh yeah,
Fletch. It was in the movie Fletch, kind of.
Excuse me, but we call it blown out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot.
We call it blown out. I had a pick. They took that too.
Yeah, I just my hair is white, so I just shave it down and then pretend that it's not. I have the Steve Martin.
You could have a full head of hair.
I can, but I'll look like Steve Martin. Like, it's just a middle age and I have white hair already.
Oh,
man, this heat discussion's really heating up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell we went. We're totally off track here. Anyway, back to the movie.
Danny Trejo plays a character named Trejo.
That is true. I think that was an accident.
Oh. They did change the name of the character, actually.
Yeah.
Did they just for Dan there?
Yeah. So here's a fun fact that I did not know. Al Pacino took inspiration for his character from a real life figure. This is interesting. He took inspiration from Pat Riley, the basketball coach. And I'm like, I read this and I was like, wait, what? And then I guess Riley also inspired Michael Douglas for the movie Wall Street.
He's an inspiring guy.
Wow.
Now, Al Pacino didn't have the slick back hair, though, really.
I was about to say, is it the slick back hair?
Well, here's a point that we were just talking about a minute ago. So in the early draft of the script, Vincent Pacino's character was a cocaine addict, but Mann removed it. Yeah. I don't think Pacino removed it. I think Mann removed it. Pacino snuck it back into some of the scenes.
Yeah. Well, it was probably there in Pacino's mind. They'd probably already recorded and everything. And then So for the rest of the film, he's just like either coming down.
I'm glad they took it out.
People.
Well,
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't make sense to have a cop high on coke, and
No,
then to
I
root
would
for
have
him.
less
Just-
sympathy for him maybe at some
Yeah,
point
yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
you know.
You want
So-
him technically to be the good guy with problems, and
Well, it kind of turns into, if you think about it, well, here's a guy who just has a badge and he just wants to go kill people.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. He doesn't really want to. He doesn't really follow the law or believe in it. He's just out there he has impunity at this point.
Yeah.
And he's hiding behind it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he has any superiors, right? In the movie, it's like basically he's in charge of everything.
At no point does anybody tell him to do anything.
No, you can't do that.
No, no, you can't.
You can't. So there was some interesting stuff about backups to De Niro's part. De Niro was the first choice, but just in case, this is an interesting fact. Mel Gibson was the second choice.
So Mel Gibson was going to be this
De Niro's
Hannah,
part.
and then they thought maybe De Niro's part, Macaulay.
Did you say
Macaulay.
Nolte earlier for the other?
Yeah, Nick Nolte. Nolte was going to be. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Nolte might have been Pacino's part. Mel Gibson would have been De Niro's part. Sorry.
Nolte and Gibson in
Harrison
one movie?
Ford. Harrison Ford also was the third option.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
that would not
Indiana
work.
Jones.
That would not work at all. Can you see
No.
Harrison Ford?
No.
No.
What was he doing in 1995 anyway? I don't even know. Like
I'm going to guess 6 days, 7 nights.
yeah, so okay. Yeah, good for him. man.
So that's what he was up to those days.
He was still doing
Yeah.
like Jack Ryan movies.
I
at
think
the
he,
time,
yeah, I
wasn't
think he was just off of probably
Patriot
Air Force
Games.
One.
Oh,
Games,
that was a
yeah.
popular movie.
What?
Worst
It was
CGI
really
I've
good.
ever seen in a movie, but
yeah,
the
but
ending.
the story took care of that.
Oh, Gary Oldman is a bad guy. Come on.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you
let's
say
see
Gary
here.
Coleman?
No,
It's
not
Gary
Gary Coleman.
Coleman.
What you talking about?
Different genre,
Yeah.
buddy.
What you talking about,
strokes.
Neil?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go there. I'm really not.
That's okay.
So Val Kilmer was almost not cast in this movie.
Mhm.
So they basically almost took out his character completely. And then initially they said, man's like, nah, you got to have it in because it helps build onto the story. But here's the funny part too. When they did cast it initially, Keanu Reeves was cast to play his role.
Yeah.
Really?
And I don't know what happened here. It doesn't say what happened. He was released after. So listen, I love Keanu Reeves, but if we're gonna go actual acting ability, I mean, Val Kilmer is probably a better actor than
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves, especially at that point. We all know Keanu Reeves, and I love Keanu Reeves, but him acting drama. What was that Dracula movie that he tried to have like a British accent? Was it Dracula? He tried to have a British accent. Oh god, that was so bad. And then Devil's Advocate with Pacino, you could see he was definitely outclassed as far as acting ability.
I don't know.
Don't like
I
his
thought that
accent.
I thought that Florida accent was pretty on point. What do you think, White Bear? You think he had a wonderful?
Yeah, I was
Southern
going to say you're the
accent?
South boy here.
It killed me. Like every time that we see like a lot of actors try that range and all that, unless they're
Mhm.
from anywhere in the South or they had Southern family and all that, it kills you to listen to. It's like, hey y'all, how you doing? I'm a be a lawyer. I might just be a small town lawyer.
What about De Niro? What about De Niro in Cape Fear though?
No.
You remember that?
Mm.
I just watched that recently.
Come out
And
wherever you are.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's another. I want to say it's Scorsese's best movie, but it's pretty entertaining just because of him.
Yeah. No, yeah.
He was good.
He played an excellent bad guy in that.
Yeah, White Bear, go rewatch Cape Fear and tell me what you think about De Niro's Southern accent. Because it's supposed to be Georgia, right? I think, right?
Yeah, I think that's Georgia.
Something like
I
that,
believe
don't
it's
know.
Georgia.
I
It's
think
either
if
Georgia.
people all
talk
sound
No,
really
no, it's North
low,
Carolina.
If you can talk,
Was it
low
North
and
Carolina?
gravelly, you can
I
get
think
away
so.
with a lot of things. It's kind of like Harrison Ford. He could probably do a Southern accent just because he can
Oh,
talk
yeah,
so
he's got
low,
that.
and,
Well, he's going to be Indiana Jones like at 100 soon. So
yeah.
Not anymore.
And
Oh,
hopefully that
I
news
heard
is
about
fake
that.
about his
Yeah, it's gonna
replacement
be
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna. He's got his replacement.
Indiana Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Indiana. You know that used to be a different kind of movie back in the day, and
Yeah.
now they're doing it
Yeah.
for real.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was supposed to be an all lady pirate movie too, and I remember that being
I
a
saw-
different pirate movie
Well,
as well.
I saw that on Twitter today, and I saw Nerdrotic post the real Pirates movie that was
There
classic.
you go. Yeah.
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 What's
We'll
she
always
gonna
have that in
do?
our memories,
What's
in
she
our
gonna
hard
do?
drives.
I love stuff.
We'll all have that in our banks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our spank.
Never
banks.
going
No.
away.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So Tom Sizemore was almost cast as somebody else too.
Tom
you're
Sizemore,
never gonna guess at this. Who else they thought about playing Tom Sizemore's role as was it Michael Chirito? Was it Chirito?
Yeah,
Chirito?
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
I can see that, right? No.
but
I
his
can't.
acting
No.
is like the worst acting in the world. Like, oh,
I would have loved to see him do the splits in this movie.
Like in Time Cop. Remember in Time Cop?
Yeah, like
when
in
he
Ti-
does
the
the-
Time Cop-
do the splits.
Time Cop was like, that was absurd. Even as a straight man, I can't say Time Cop. No. But I would say, what was the movie? Didn't he do the split? Oh, he did the splits for a commercial.
Yeah, for between those two
Mhm.
trucks. Or
Oh,
whatever.
the
Between
Pepsi
the
was
two
it the Pepsi
trucks.
commercial?
Was it?
Didn't
Was
he-
it Pepsi?
Yeah, didn't he do it in the was it Bloodsport or Kickboxer? One of those movies too, right? Like every movie.
Oh.
I thought
Well, I think didn't it? Man,
Yeah, where they
I'm-
had him
I'm gonna
stretching
get-
out and stuff like that.
stretch, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he
Frank
would have been
Dukes.
at the dinner table with all the families on the line. She's like, "Honey, do you have to do the splits here?" You know, he's like,
I
"I'm
like
just getting ready for the robbery."
I like Ryan G here says Keanu needs to stick to. I think Keanu Reeves realized where his niche was.
yeah,
Yeah.
gunplay is absolutely where Keanu Reeves lives.
Yeah, Frank Dukes. Yeah, that's Indiana Jane and the tampon
Yeah.
of. Leave it to Weird World.
Oh man, yeah.
You want to have a. Yeah, go
Frank
ahead, sorry.
Dukes was the one. Frank Dukes was the one where he did the splits and hit the guy in the nuts.
It was Bloodsport. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Bloodsport.
Also, Johnny
Weren't they
Cage.
supposed to make a sequel? They were supposed to make a sequel to that, weren't they? Bloodsport.
I thought they were
did.
Dude, I was under the impression for like years that they were making a TV show called Kumite, and then it just, I must have made it up in my head.
More bloodier, more
Yeah.
sportier.
Sportier, yeah.
No, there's nothing cheesy about Bloodsport. Like it's just
No. I'm surprised my wife isn't in the chat right now, going off about how great Bloodsport is. It's one of her favorite.
so whatever. I love Bloodsport.
Oh, she loves it. She absolutely. This is why I married her, guys. Her favorite movies are Predator and Bloodsport.
Which
I
one
will
did
say-
Jean-Claude dance in?
That was
That was
Kickboxer.
Kickboxer.
Those were some moves.
Yeah, those were amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
Yeah, so this guy,
It makes
this
you
guy's
question your
saying,
sexuality.
well,
Sorry.
oh, that's I do that every day. No, just kidding. The second Cape Fear, the remake of Cape Fear with De Niro should have been in black and white, better with for Nolte's tattoos. Yeah, I like Cape Fear.
No, Cape Fear, and that was originally supposed to be Spielberg. And then
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, they switched off with Schindler's List. I think Scorsese was actually attached to Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. Wow.
Yeah, and so they actually switched those scripts with each other. There's a little bit of trivia for you. Think of a Martin
there you go.
Scorsese Schindler's List. What that would be
I don't know.
like.
I don't know if that works the same.
I don't
I mean,
think so either.
it's like Spielberg making Goodfellas, and it's not a knock. But
No, it just doesn't work. Because I would say Scorsese is pretty hyperactive, and in Schindler's List, it does not require what Scorsese could bring to the table.
very slowed down. Yeah, very drama heavy.
Right.
I see my my co-host on Fridays, Whiskey Bangers, in here. Tong Po. Yeah, Tong Po was an intimidating character.
What's up, Whiskey? I like his work too.
Whiskey Banger. I'm trying to get Whiskey Banger to start his own channel.
He should.
Yeah,
I
He
think
should.
he
He's
should.
really good on your show.
yeah.
He's got baby number 2 on the way soon, so his life's going to get a little busier. But
Yes.
after that,
Okay.
we're working on. I'm working on him to have his own show.
Congratulations, Whiskey Banger, on kid number 2 and kid number 1, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget
Lucky
number
him.
1. Forget
Yeah,
number 1.
they always
No.
forget.
Number 2.
Everybody's congratulating me on number 1 right now, but I don't want them to forget when I have number 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Yeah,
sound
no, it's not as
No.
bad as you think. It's
okay.
alcohol helps. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think I lost all my hair.
When it turned white.
I have a
when you found
teenage
out it was
daughter. I
pregnant
have a
again.
teenage daughter. Think about that. In 2022.
I'm telling you, you're
So-
going to have to give me tips because I'm going to have a teenage
Oh,
daughter.
I got
in
you,
14
buddy.
Years.
I got you. It's going to be tough for you, man, because the technology, the phones,
I don't have-
it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse.
Oh, I know.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just show her movies like this when she gets old enough. Like, keep her in line.
She's going to be
Probably
blown
hate-
away by the first romance movie she sees because it's just not going to happen in my house.
No.
She's going to say,
Unless
you hit an entire genre for me.
What if it's a Princess Bride, though?
Is that really a romance? Wouldn't you consider that a fantasy comedy?
I mean, it's a fantasy, but there's a romance in it. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you're
sure,
right. Maybe that's a
I
bad.
guess.
Maybe that's a bad
No,
example.
no, you're
Yeah.
probably right. I mean, it's probably one of the better. I mean, maybe I'm just trying to lie to myself and say I don't like any romance movies, but there's only a certain select few. I mean, maybe Princess Bride is one of them.
Mine is When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally is excellent.
Yeah.
I think
could
one
stay
of
in
the
that
best.
lane.
I think one of the best written films, romantic comedies of all time, is As Good as It Gets. That's where I'd put my money on.
It's a great movie. Well, anytime you have Nicholson in anything, and then Kinnear was very excellent in that movie. That was a funny movie. Harold Ramis, right? Wasn't that a Ramis movie?
No, he was in it though.
Oh, I thought
It
he
was
directed it.
No, that was James L. Brooks wrote it and directed it.
Oh, this is why I keep you around.
Yeah. Thanks for
I wouldn't have
having me.
known that. Of course. All right, now back to Heat. This is the one thing about these channels.
Well, see,
I
there's
love.
romance in Heat,
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so we could segue this.
There's also suicide attempts in Heat, which is depressing.
Oh, you know what? There's a suicide attempt in As Good as It Gets, and
Yeah.
so we could segue it from that. Like, oh,
Yeah,
there's
let's
a
start
scene-
there.
Oh, remember your favorite scene where Greg Kinnear tried to kill himself? Well, that kind of reminds me of the scene in Heat where Natalie
Heat.
Portman tried to
Natalie
Natalie
Portman.
Portman tried to kill herself.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Before that, though, so you got these two guys, and I'm going to go with this scene here. This scene was the scene that I was waiting most of my life to see. What would it be like to put these two guys in front of each other? And I got to tell you, I love the way they did this. You didn't get this big bombastic action scene with them two right away. You got this quieted down. Let's let their skills take over. Not a lot of yelling, just good dialogue. And I love how Pacino respects this guy. First of all, can we talk about Pacino speeding through LA freeways trying to kill people to get to this guy? Ditches his wife, takes a helicopter, finds the guy, and then they go sit and have coffee like two gentlemen would when you're a bank robber and a policeman.
Yeah.
I just like the way he asked him. How about
How about a coffee? Yeah. You got to do the
Follow
Pacino
me.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, follow me. And then they go sit down.
Getting used there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Give me a
Uh,
helicopter
as
so I can fly down, get as close
as
as I
he's
can. to drive up.
sideswiping pedestrians trying to get to this guy.
Like, quick little
Uh,
note though, there's at no
yes.
point in the film where Al Pacino is driving regular. You know, like he's never going like really normal speed. Every parking space he goes, slides into.
Yeah.
Every time he pulls off, he
Yeah.
slides into somewhere. Sees his stepdaughter in line, has the person who's driving, do a U, right there. There's not one point in the movie where you see him just driving like a normal person.
Well, he owns the streets, White Bear. That's what he does, right? He's Al Pacino.
He does stop at a stoplight one time to throw a damn
Once.
TV.
Kick a TV out of the thing. That we'll get to that scene because that scene made me laugh my ass off. But that is great. Yes. So you get this scene. He invites him coffee, and then boom, it's right there, face to face. And I love the camera work here because they do a lot of acting without even saying anything. It's a lot of facial expressions. That's what I love about good acting. This is back when Robert De Niro actually was a good actor. And they're just talking about little things here and there. Hey, do you have a woman? What is it like to be you? You're always chasing me around. So how could you keep this life? What is a regular life to guys like us? And then, Pacino comes out and basically says, like, I'm not going to like to have to put you down, but if it comes between you and a poor guy, some wife, you're going to turn into a widow because you're trying to do this thing. I'm going to put you down, but I won't like it. And then De Niro's like, I'm not going back to jail. And it's just the back and forth here. To me, it's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie because you finally get these guys together, and I think it paid off. And to me, it wasn't disappointing. I loved it.
Right.
Yeah. I want to say it runs upwards from 5 to 7 minutes, somewhere in between there is the runtime for that scene. And that's absurdly long for a scene. Usually 5 minutes is long.
Right.
And done with no rehearsal.
Yeah. And that also makes sense, is to not rehearse that scene because they never met each other before until that moment.
Right. You don't want them to feel comfortable.
And what's even more interesting that I've noticed with that scene is that they never share the same frame. It's always over the shoulder shots, but it's never a wide shot of the two of them. So they're still separated, which makes the myth of them working together grow even more, even if they're in the same movie. Is that
they might have going around?
No, it was just like Cannoli was saying. Back in the day, it was like, how come these guys haven't made a movie together? And then they're in this movie together, and then you could easily sit there and go, yeah, but they never were like in the same room together.
It's true.
But they were. I mean,
obviously. But I know what you're saying, though. I like how they filmed it. You're getting their perspectives from each other. It's really good. Sorry, White Bear, you're going to say something?
Oh, no. I was just about to say, could make a conspiracy channel off of movies like that,
I'm ready.
Were they ever in the same room? Ever, Al Pacino. See, before that, Al Pacino had a facelift right before he shot that film. He did. He did. So, was it really Al Pacino? Look at his ears.
Yeah, you can start to see at that point.
Read that?
Pacino was starting to age. He was starting to show that, at that point, I don't even know how old was he when he made this movie. I should have probably looked that up.
He had starting in the 50s.
I just can't
50s,
believe that
I think both of them were.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that, he would need that much, work done at that age unless,
he
had been living.
Though.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as,
cocaine does that.
Right after Scarface, I was going to say, you ever notice right after Scarface, all of a sudden, he aged about 20 years.
He got the hump
really
in his back a little
character.
bit. And
then,
it's funny. It's wild watching The Godfather and hear that high-pitched voice and then, God, you watch it. I mean, obviously everybody, ages differently, but he really, even now, I don't know. He sounds like a grizzly bear when he talks. I don't know what the hell he's saying half the time.
It was like all of a sudden all those Lucky Strike cigarettes he was smoking just caught up with him in 1 year.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what it was.
He must have done more coke than Stevie Nicks because his voice and everything, had really changed by then. And because, like you said, he was like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And then next thing you know, he's like, him and Nick
there were two movies I think in the 80s where I started noticing it. I don't know if you've ever seen these movies. One was a romantic comedy with Michelle Pfeiffer, Frankie and Johnny.
Yeah.
And then there was Sea of Love he made, which is supposed to be like a crime drama. He was like another cop. And at that point, you could see it. His voice was just starting to change.
I would say Sea of Love is where you saw it.
Probably more than anything,
yeah. That's where you saw the difference between him and Scarface, and then all of a sudden, this new Al Pacino who's rough, gruff, and he talks like he's a chimney stack.
What year was Son of a Woman?
Son of a Woman? Oh, well, that was what,
92?
I don't think.
Yeah,
it was just before Heat. Yeah, so
yeah,
I mean,
this is why you can't do math good, is because you can remember film dates and crap like that.
I thought it was because you were from the South. That's why you couldn't do math well.
Oh shit, he went there.
I'm not good at math. Don't worry. I mean,
y'all quit.
Us Italians run numbers and shit, but we don't.
Oh yeah. You gotta make.
You have to make
amazing
how.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, we're not good at math until you make it into money, and then all of a sudden.
I was gonna say, like, you look at these gangsters, like these mobsters. You watch, they're like Neanderthals, but they're geniuses when it comes to like they're this.
Oh, when it comes
running numbers.
When it comes to percentages and running cash,
they're great. And then they just get rid of you if you don't, contribute.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's just dividing by zero.
We're better in the STEM fields of like making alcohol from almost anything,
None of that makes you
agrees.
cash. None of that makes you
Oh,
cash.
No.
Okay, so let's get to this shootout scene because holy shit.
Yeah, it's epic.
Up until
This
that
is
point, I mean,
This is why we
Go ahead, sorry.
watch. No,
this
I'm
is
sorry.
why we watch. This is the
This
scene.
is why
No,
we
no.
watch.
This scene, holy shit, man. I remember watching this movie for the first time. And like you said, I love the movie, the build up. And then the way this is what I loved about this movie too. Yes, the build up to that part. Because at this point, Pacino and De Niro already met. And was it the Danny Trejo's character dimes them out, right? Tips them off the police at that point because they have his wife or something. Like somebody, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Wayne Grove and they basically like threatened him, we'll kill your wife if you don't turn him over, like, betray him, which most people don't get the first time they see the movie because you really got to kind of pay attention, even though it's pretty obvious to me what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's obvious when he's not there. That's when you're like, well,
yeah. Well, he calls him and he's like, oh, the cops are following me, and you're like, oh, this is bullshit.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Yeah,
but
I
know a lot of people who watched the movie were like, I didn't get that. I was like, to me, it was pretty obvious, but whatever. So they get the tip, they show up, and I mean, as soon as those dudes come out of the bank, there's no time wasted. It is just guns blazing in the middle of downtown LA. I don't listen. I'm not a tactical expert. Whiskey Banger he was in the army. He's a tactical kind of guy. He can explain it better. Even he says though, as far as gunfire and tactics used, it was probably one of the most realistic shot scenes. Yeah. And that's not coming from him, but other people in the industry. This scene, how long is this? Do we know how? I forgot the time. Do we know how long the fight scene goes on? Because it feels like it's half the movie.
It feels like it runs upwards to 10 minutes.
It's unbelievable.
United States Marine recruits and
I was just gonna say. So that was one of the things that that
you were
scene
talking about that actually on one of your other live streams the other day.
Yeah. So the Army Special Forces, they actually use that as the overwhelming force training. Basically, one of the scenes, especially with Val Kilmer, when he's kind of cornered in and Pacino shoots him, how he's going back and forth and just kind of. This scene was incredible. It's still to this day, out of all the action movies that have come out before and after, to me, it's top 3 at least action scenes ever filmed on camera. To me, at least, I don't know. There's I'm probably missing some, but holy shit, man! And what do you guys think about this? It's like,
I would say in terms of drama, because this is not really an action film. I would say in terms of drama, for sure. Like this is like one of the most insane action sequences in a drama you've probably ever watched.
100%.
I can't even think of a non-war film drama before or since that has something quite as extravagant as this. Now you have John Wick's, and John Wick's top this
God,
stuff.
Yeah, I guess maybe you're right. Maybe it's in the context of the film itself, because John Wick is wall-to-wall action. That's what it's made for.
But
I think this movie, it's not an action movie, so it comes. I don't want to say it comes out of nowhere, but when it does come, it just it's kind of one of those things where it props you up. You kind of wake up a little more, and you're like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about how it starts. Is you have Chris Shaharless just walking out, and then immediately I think it's a bus that that disappears and shows that the cops are across the street, and he's firing his gun. That's it. Yeah. Like he doesn't even think about it. It's almost like he's been training for this moment to spot cops across the street and just start firing at him. He didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what shocks you into the scene, and then it just keeps going. And there's almost like a 3-act structure to the fight itself. There's the beginning, middle, and end.
I think I'm saying from 1 hour 46 minutes to 1 hour 53 is
7 minutes.
But it seems a lot longer in a way. I mean, you're just, I guess where I just kind of fell into it. Like, you're watching it and you're judging every bit of it. You're like, wow, that's going on. Oh, somebody just grabbed a kid, and seeing all their training kick in. And, if you find out any of the backstory, if you really look into the characters, there's a reason why Al Pacino's character is supposed to be as good as he is with firearms and stuff like that. At least. Yeah,
because he was in the Marines, right?
Right.
He was in the Marines.
Him and Neil in the movie apparently were. Both, so that's pretty interesting there.
I like what Jacob Ironside says here about John Wick. Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I will say Keanu Reeves did a shit ton of training with his own weapons, tactics, and reloads, and you could see. That's one thing I love about the man. I can't wait for John Wick 4 to come out.
Oh, it looks so good.
So this is why I agree with you, Copa, with our wives. My wife, it's the day before her birthday. That movie comes out, and she goes, "Happy birthday to me. We're going to see this movie." And I'm like,
"Oh, nice."
She's an action junkie. She's the same way.
Oh, great.
So,
great. See, you married correct.
Yeah, I have to get. I've been trying to get her to watch. This is gonna. Guys might laugh because I don't know how you feel about this. We've been watching some Indian cinema movies lately, just because Hollywood sucks. So I watched. I watched RRR. She didn't want. She didn't think she would like it. Triple R, and I told her you'd love this movie. Yeah, you got to do a pirate ever. It is a great pirate movie.
Yeah, it's just not the all-girl pirate movie that I'm used to.
Well, I heard Chris Gore talking about it, and
none of us are.
I was like, I still haven't done it. Still haven't delved into because every time
it's a long movie.
Any of the Indian movies, I've always got bad ones. You know, like the old, I guess the '90s stuff. Because a lot of their stuff from the '90s looked like our stuff from the late '60s and '70s. You know, like it was pretty bad quality. But now, I mean, they've so upped their game. I don't know what happened. I am.
They have competition. They have competition. There used to be Bollywood. Now it's Tollywood. So they have multiple Hollywoods, I guess you could say.
Right.
So the competition's amped up, and there's a few movies before that I've been watching that aren't bad. Are set up the. I thought it was fantastic. Like it's long. Don't get me wrong. It's 3 hours. So it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you can watch it there. If you don't mind reading subtitles, which I'm not a big fan of, but didn't bother me for this movie.
I'm really not.
No, it's fine. If the movie's good, then it's fine.
Yeah, RRR is Triple R is just a batshit crazy film.
It is crazy,
and it I don't know. Like you start off with a forget his name, Ram, and he's part of the police force, and he jumps right into the middle of 10,000 dudes to go capture one guy.
Starts beating the shit out
and
of
he
all
just
of them.
starts beating the shit out of 10,000 men. And you go, yeah, I'm on board with this. Yeah, I totally.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's believable. Yeah, I'm good. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
And it's well, it's based off real life people that actually never met in real life, but they were around the same time for India's revolution and kind of their independence, like our July 4th. This set that up, and so if I would suggest watching it when you can. I plan on watching it now that we have like the holiday weekend coming up next weekend. We got a long weekend. The wife and I, we're going to watch some movies, and that's definitely one of them. I want her to see that. So anyway, segue back to Heat because we keep going up. Let's see here. So yeah, again, so you get the fight scene. Val Kilmer gets shot, of course, and then De Niro's character takes him to Jeremy Piven, by the way.
Yeah.
Another guy we forgot.
Yes, that's another cameo.
Steals Jeremy Piven's shirt that his daughter gave him, if you remember. But he got paid a lot of money for that shirt. So
that was I'm pretty sure his daughter paid about $25 for that.
That was a funny scene. Like he goes, "It's my daughter's shirt." He goes, "I don't care whose shirt it is. Take it off."
Yeah, he's like, "Take it off."
Not a big
here's $50,000.
He can play that role just right.
Yeah. So that happens, and then the movie goes on. And this is where the big setup comes, where towards the end, where Pacino's basically after a while just like, all right, they're gone. It's over because he got away. They dumped our surveillance. Like all this shit's going wrong, and he's like, this guy's good. He just beat me. And so leading up to that, though, my favorite scene of the movie, besides the great ass scene, is when Pacino goes home and finds that his wife's been having some extramarital activities. What was the guy's name? Ralph. So he comes home and sees Ralph, some man sitting on his chair watching his television.
He's watching another man movie, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't catch that until recently.
Did you catch this? That the man who plays Ralph is also the man who played Waingro in LA Takedown.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So he obviously did a favor and put him in the movie.
Right.
So
I don't know if you call getting yelled at by Pacino for watching his television set a favor, but
I would listen. If it was one of us, wouldn't you want to get yelled at by Al Pacino in a movie?
And that guy was in 24 also. He played one.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, no shit.
That's This scene was great. So he knows he knows what's going on. Obviously, Pacino's not stupid, right? Comes into the room. Ralph's just kind of like, oh shit. And then the wife comes down high as shit, probably because she's got like no emotion. She's like, whatever, you caught me. And that the scene,
Benzo attitude.
yeah. And then so the scene, Pacino plays this so well. It's so Pacino because he's like, you can do whatever you want to my wife, but you will not watch my goddamn television.
Oh man!
I mean, you got to watch the scene. It's freaking hilarious, and it's just you kind of feel bad for. I definitely sympathize with Pacino, of course, right? He's getting cheated on, but I think even in the moment he knows. Shit. Okay.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Ralph because
Ralph was taking ours. He was just hooking up with some random crazy short-haired chick who's ready to party, and he was like, hey, whatever, and all that. I'll run CTU later and all that. And next thing you know, you got this hard ass coming in there, and he gives you like the quiet treatment. It's like when your dad's really mad at you, but he's so mad that he's just like, I'm disappointed in you. It's like, he would rather have just got punched in the face once and let go.
But you hear what she says about him too. She goes, I had to demean myself with Ralph just to get at you.
Closure.
And Ralph's sitting right there.
He's like,
yeah. Poor guy is like, he's like, maybe I should leave,
Yeah.
And Pacino's like, Ralph, sit down. Ralph, sit down. And that's where we get the scene that White Bear was coming up with when Pacino's in the car later on, stops at the light and just kicks the TV out. And he's like, all right, I'm done with that part of my life now.
I like how the bums were just looking at him, or the people at the bus stop, whatever. They're just like, did that man?
Well, it's LA. They're probably raw. It's LA. They're probably used to it, right?
Yeah, actually, it was a real bum too, and he asked me.
Probably pissed off that they couldn't get the TV in one piece, right?
And he's like, "So, are you guys gonna keep that?"
Yeah. Can I smoke crack out of that?
Smoke crack.
Can I? Yeah.
Hey, how would you like to have been that SWAT guy in the trailer that they were set up in for the stakeout?
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that part.
He felt like such a shit. Like it was just such a hill. Like just in there. He's in there like, oh, should we use the radio and all that, drinking his water and all that, and he's like, stay up, and then
it could have been an hour and a half movie. Could have been an hour and a half movie if he just kept his cool.
Yep.
But instead he made it.
I'm surprised Pacino didn't shoot the guy because it's like
I know. I
close.
thought, if you make him feel bad over that crap, I'm like, hey, come on, let's think about that before we. I guess that's why he didn't get onto him so hard because anybody could have made that mistake. And it was pretty hardcore hearing of De Niro's part.
De Niro.
Like,
there's a machine inside the building going off, opening a
mouse
safe,
farted in a field 2 miles away. We can't do this.
He heard it. Well, then it extended the movie for another hour, like you said.
Yeah. See, and you have to be.
Thanks, SWAT guy.
Well, Al Pacino knew. He said, "This is going to go on another hour and a half, everybody, because of this guy." But of all the people that Al Pacino just randomly blew up on, he doesn't even acknowledge this dude exists after he did that.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of. Why that kind of stuck in my mind because I was expecting him to be like, we lost him, and it's all that guy's fault. Thanks, random SWAT guy.
Yeah,
thank you, guy.
I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, that was a great. That was a good scene because a lot of acting without saying anything. Pacino's just staring at him like you.
The whole scene they're not saying anything.
Yeah,
as soon as that scene starts, there's not an ounce of dialogue, but there's a shit ton of tension.
Yeah, well,
kind of like the ending, the lack of dialogue actually makes it even more epic. But we'll get to that.
This is what we used to call good movie making.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. What happened? Oh, Disney took over everything. I'm sorry. So you have all that.
2016 happened, guys. That's what happened. You know what happened? The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi happened, and somehow they thought we can market films by making the audience feel bad.
Yeah. It's just change the lore of characters just for the sake of it, and the hell with the fans. They're all scumbags, right?
And if you don't like it, well, you're a racist, misogynist, bigot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they really went. You're right. That's probably around the time it started, and then now, what they've done with the the freaking Lord of the Rings show was a travesty.
Well, yeah, and they once again they called the fans who knew who. Look, I'm not ever going to complain. Say that I'm the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not. I've read the books,
Sure.
I watched the movies, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the total backstories of everything. But
Right.
when I see a bunch
Yeah,
of fans that I do know that know it front to back, and you do know that there's a fan base that reads Lord of the Rings like people read their Bibles.
Right.
When they say this is all wrong, you might want to listen to them instead of calling them racist. You might want to listen to them instead of calling them, misogynist.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
That's,
just,
it's, like you said, that's
it's not a fan base you go after.
There. And
yeah, that's the last fan base you want to go after. You want to go after Star Wars fans? Sure, fine, why not? You want to go after anybody else, Marvel fans, fine. But when you go after Lord of the Rings fans, I mean, you're asking for one uphill fight, and they're going to fight
let
you
you
tooth
know.
and nail all the way. Oh yeah.
Like,
And this is what I said in one of my videos about it. And I said, this isn't just fans who were born 20 years ago. This is fans who are fathers, grandfathers, and great grandfathers.
Yeah.
That's who you're fighting. This is a generational.
Well, I'm like you, Copa. I never read the books, but I did like the original movies. And the original movies were even different from the books. And at that time, people gave it, weren't happy. But as time went on, they realized, all right, well, Jackson actually gives a shit about the characters because he kept a lot of the heart there, and I love those movies.
I mean, if you're gonna mess with somebody's sacred cow, that's the way that you milk it. It's the way that Peter Jackson did.
And he even said in Jackson, he's like, we're not going to put our politics into the movie. This is about Tolkien. This is his story.
I think he complimented the crap out of it because
amazing.
He actually made a lot of
great trilogy, and then The Hobbit. The Hobbit came out not as good. Now, when you look back now, people who like Lord of the Rings and look back at The Hobbit compared to the shit show, they're like, okay, The Hobbit is like a masterpiece.
Girl.
Yeah. But there's a lot of rumors about what Amazon wants to do going forward. I mean, they're talking about redoing the whole thing again. I hope that happens.
That'd probably be their smartest move is to just
admit your mistake. Bezos has got the money. God knows he's not going to lose much, and just start it over.
And you know what you do? You hire a Tolkien scholar,
like the first time they did, and they
fired
him.
Right, and then you listen to him.
I really can't wait to see Aragorn with dreadlocks. That'll be.
I would like that. That's a 2022 version. Where the hell were you? Oh, we were talking about Heat. That's right.
Oh yeah.
No, but this is good. So we get to this point basically where Pacino's life's falling apart. Vincent's character, De Niro's character, basically he thinks got away, and so Pacino's like, I'm going back to my hotel, and I'm done. I'm going to sleep for a month. Gets to the hotel, and this part I did not expect. Because
kind of came out of left field there.
The Nicole Kidman's character just became a side thought most of the rest of the way of the movie. But this is what I love about the storytelling in this movie, because of how they portrayed her early on with the OCD issues and the dad issues, right? And like you said, the potential depression issues, and her mom obviously having those issues, some hereditary possibilities there. When he goes, because at first, I don't know if you noticed this, when he walks into the room, you could see the wet floor. I didn't pick that up immediately the first time I saw the movie. Then he's going back, and Pacino's like, what the hell's going on? Opens the door, and she's in the bathtub, she cut herself, and it's like, oh shit. And then you see Pacino do some really damn good acting there. Trying to get her health. And he even says he's so frustrated because of what happened to her. He probably because he couldn't help her more. And he even says, all these bastards, they're shooting each other in the street. He's like, no, not you. You're innocent. You don't deserve this.
Right.
And then, of course, gets her to the hospital. That was a great scene. I mean, it was a sad scene, but as far as the movie storytelling and acting, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I did recognize the wet floor, but I remember first watching it and going, well, that's weird. You know how I didn't even get to finish the scene, and I saw the wet floor. I was like, well, that's strange. What?
Yeah, I thought it had to do with the place that he was living. I thought it was here I am living at some crummy place, and then no.
Well, they don't really thoroughly explain where he's at because it almost looks like a hotel room. and
Mhm.
I go, "Well, how did she find out where he is?" Like, you know, you
That-
kind
it
of start
happened
going
pretty
down
quick.
that. Yeah, like yeah, he got a hotel room at the Holiday Inn, and she tracked him down, and then did that. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's an excellent scene. Pacino does probably some of his finest acting work in
Oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah, we
90s
forgot
somewhere.
about Chris. Val Kilmer's character there, because he's got that earlier in the movie, his own personal life drama with
Mm-hmm.
he's short tempered, and obviously has a gambling problem. He
Mhm.
admits, and I guess she doesn't want him. She wants him kind of out of all of that, anyways, all the crime, and.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, short tempered. He leaves, throws crap while he's leaving, drives off.
At the beginning, yeah.
And then later on, De Niro was keeping a watch on her and found out that she was, hooking up with what was that Hank?
Hank is her name.
Oh, Hank.
Yeah.
Mo's
Who?
voice.
What are you, an
Yeah,
owl?
Mo's voice.
Oh,
Who?
Yeah, who? What are you, a fucking owl?
and then apparently
yes.
he got hurt. Val Kilmer actually had an arm injury in real
Yeah.
life at the time, so that kind of worked out for that.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was this freaking movie, man. There's just so much good. That part here, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna see if I can. I gotta see if I can share this because this is unbelievable. Hold on a second here. How do I do it? Okay. So this scene in the movie. I hope I want to wait till Weird World comes back, or Weird White Bear comes back, because I got to see this with him.
Oh no, I'm
Is
sorry.
that- Oh, okay, I'm allowed to show 8 seconds of a clip, so this is exactly the length this is. And I let me know if you guys can hear the audio. I'm gonna play it. I think it's sharing the audio, but let me see. So let me know.
No, I'm
No,
not sure.
no audio.
No audio.
But I
No
can
idea.
hear it in my
I can
mind.
hear it.
You can just hear it in your mind.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second.
Here, I'll do
Let
it.
me.
Yeah, let Copa do
You
the
got a
voice.
great ass. All right, hold on a second. Let me. You think I know how to work? Okay, now I fixed it. I fixed it.
You got the audio?
Now we
Or
should
do you
be.
need-
Now
or
we
do you
should be
need me
hearing
to
the
do it?
audio. No, well, we'll do it. We'll do our imitations afterwards. Now let me see if you can.
Great ass,
Yes.
and you got your head all the way up.
I mean,
Look at
How do
his
you-
face.
Oh man, he is
Look at
terrified.
his face. It's
how
like
do you? Yeah, he's like that. That's a real reaction.
Imagine
That's a real
imagine this.
reaction.
You're Hank Azaria, it's 1995, your career's on the rise. You're in a movie with Al Pacino, and then he does something like that off the fly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the same reaction I have too.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on with my life?
Yeah.
I mean, are you intimidated? Obviously, you're intimidated, but are you just like, holy shit, Al Pacino just spit in my face and
Yeah.
told me that my, side
Yeah.
piece has a great ass.
This was my first day of working with Al, and he screamed at my
He yelled at
face,
me.
and I have spit. Yeah, he yelled at me. was great.
Stovepipe. There's stovepipe. Stovepipe. This is the great boss I was telling you about there, Copa. He likes to chime in on my streams. Yeah, she's got an ass like an onion, make you want to cry. Oh, she actually does have a nice ass, though.
She does. I mean, she has one scene where she
Attractive.
walks away.
Mm-hmm.
When Chris Hairless comes home, and
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, she does have a
Shairless.
great ass. That is a wonderful looking butt.
She was attractive when she was, of a
Not
certain
Harvey
age, I guess.
Weinstein's side piece.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
Not trying to sleep her way to an Academy Award.
hashtag me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we get to this point with the kid, and then basically the end of the movie is basically coming closer. Pacino, of course, gets paged away from the hospital, and then his ex-wife, I guess, soon to be ex-wife, is like, just go, I'll handle this, and you got to work. And they basically sit there with each other and have a moment where she's like, do you think this can work together for us? And he goes, this is never going to work, so I'm not going to change. Basically, He's like, I forgot what the exact line was he said to her. Something about it's like what I'm chasing is what I am. Like I can't.
Yeah,
Is what I'm after or something like that.
What I'm going
Yeah.
after.
Basically, gives
She-
her the Popeye.
Yeah,
I
and he goes, I'm not what you want. So then the page comes, and this is where the part with De Niro can't, his downfall, like Copa said earlier, he can't let Wayne Grove go. He gets the call from, what the hell is the guy? What was that's another guy we forgot to talk about. The actor who plays his contact,
Blind
John
guy from
Voight.
Contact. Oh yeah, John Voight.
John Voight. I mean, this is another guy in the movie.
Wait a minute. You know who else we forgot to talk about is Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins was in the movie,
right?
Yeah.
And Pacino gets to throw him out of a fucking window,
out of a fucking patio
And
door.
Yeah. How cool is that for Henry Rollins?
Did you notice the stunt double when he throws him out, when he knocks them into the ground? It's clearly, if you go back and watch that scene where Pacino throws his shoulder into him, it's not Al Pacino. It's a guy like 20, 30 years younger with white teeth. You just see the hair flying and you see this guy's face. You go, wow, that's a really bad edit there.
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, go back and watch. But anyway, so you get, and he gives up the information and all. So this ties into the climax where John Voight's character tells De Niro, "Hey, just letting you know, your plane's here. You're ready to go." Hint, hint. But Wayne Grove is being protected at this hospital, and you see, this is again where great acting comes into play.
Yeah.
Without saying anything, you see De Niro. He's thinking in his head, I just let it go," but he's like, "I can't let it go. I have to finish," because that's his whole. That's what he was in the whole movie. That's his character. He's got to finish what he starts.
Yeah.
He can't.
He can't let him
because you know damn well, if he was wherever he was going in some foreign island somewhere, he would be killing him, and he wouldn't be happy because he'd be thinking, "I let this piece of shit go." So of course he goes to the hotel, disguises himself, gets beats up a cop, gets into the room, kills Wayne Grove, and this scene was great because he comes out and he set off the fire alarm to make a distraction,
right?
And the girlfriend gets out of the car and is looking at him, and at that moment she realizes he's taken off. He's gone because of that line that he has earlier with Pacino. Like somebody told him in jail, if you feel the heat around the corner, whatever. I forgot the full context of the line, but he's like, let's go, just split. And Pacino's like, "You would do that?" And he goes, "That's the De Niro. That's the discipline. You gotta
the willing to walk out in 30 seconds flat.
30 seconds flat if you feel the heat. Yeah. So you kind of feel bad for the girlfriend. Here's my thing. I kind of what White Bear was saying. I want to feel bad for her, but it's like you decided to go with a criminal to some.
Yeah, that's another scene. Like the whole scene where he's trying to convince her to, she's staying at his place and all that, and she's like in a bathrobe and everything. And she goes outside and gives her a little pouting moment of like, come on, you're about to be rich, you're about to be taken care of, you can start up, and she was just wanting to apparently get away, but it's the least entertaining part of the movie is like having to hear him, I guess, convince her to stay, and but her out there at waiting for him to get out of the hotel and all that, that's such a funny thing. He's like, "Oh, I got to go stop somewhere," and suddenly, people are rushing out of the building. There's fire, fire trucks pulling up. Like, that's got to be pretty dramatic.
Yeah, and I think that's what
can't take you anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I think that's what shocks her though is, she knows that the reason why all of a sudden, all these fire trucks and cops are piling on the place is because of him. And so when he pops out and they have that moment where they see each other from a distance, she knows he's gone. Yeah, she knows he's gone, and
she also realizes this is who he is. He's this is and I love that scene because De Niro's looking at her and she's looking at him, and not for a second do you think, well, he's going to change his mind and try to sneak away with her. He's like, no, I'm good. And then you see Pacino coming from the other, down a little bit, and then run right past her, and you're like, oh shit, this is not going to end well. And even at the time of the movie, the way it ended, I kind of knew where it was going just based on what De Niro's what decisions he was making. But you never know. But the funny part is when they were running through the airport scene, there was actually them running. Al Pacino even said like he almost died making that because he never ran that much. And I think he was in his 50s at the time. And he was exhausted, he said, after that scene. But it was a good payoff.
After 3 cartons of cigarettes,
and some other white substance.
And all the cocaine. It's kind of hard to run through an
next
airport.
movie I'm in, I'm going to play a very sedentary devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't over the top in that movie at all.
No, no.
No, not at all.
Not that last 15 minutes of that movie.
Mhm.
Actually, but if you think about it, that was a really great speech that he gives at the end of that one.
He was the whole. That was the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, that's the part you work up to.
Yeah.
There's the whole reveal of him being the devil and that whole monologue that he has.
That was freaking amazing.
Mhm.
And then you get these two guys running around, and yeah, you were going to say something, Koba. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to make a point that I've kind of noticed over the years, which is it after the dinner scene or the coffee scene, these two guys kind of take each other's discipline.
Mhm.
Pacino drops his wife in 30 seconds flat to go chase the lead on this dude.
Oh.
And Macaulay sticks around, tries to have kind of what Pacino had with his girl. So it's kind of interesting that that's
role reversal there.
A little role
Yeah.
reversal there as they now are starting to
Look at you
Run through
catching
the
things
airport.
in movies. I'm proud of you.
You know, I cheat.
That's good. That's a good observation. Well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
That's right.
That's
I
the
cheat.
rumor
I just
anyway.
listen to audio commentary and then
That's
I make stuff
great.
up. I make stuff
Wow.
up after
It's
Michael
worked.
Mann
It's
said this.
worked this well. Yeah, yeah. I believe you. I trust you and believe you.
Yeah, you should.
I know I
it's got to
should.
be exciting for Pacino's character, though. Like,
Mhm.
very few times in life do you get like some, a real what you would call a foe, and for that character, that was, somebody pretty dang smart, somebody kind of equal, his equal, but on the other
Yeah.
side. So, it's like he's my arch enemy,
No, yeah, they're definitely equals. It's almost like two professionals respecting each other's craft.
Right. Right.
They don't their worlds collide in so many different ways, but at the same time they don't really understand them either. And especially with that coffee scene, it's just you just see two professional men who are really good at what they do. Give each
They
other
respect each other.
They respect each other.
Yeah. I mean, he specifically tells him, "I'm not going to like putting you down, but it's my job. I'm going to protect the citizens." I love the ending though because they're chasing each other and it's really intense. It's pretty good. They're back and forth. They're hiding from each other. Now, the thing with the planes, it's a pretty funny way to. When I first watched the movie the very first time years ago, I was like, I don't know if I love the way it ended. It's a little. I don't want to say it was a little too easy because you see the shadow in the plane. But as I got older, I was like, okay, I see how this would work, and I like it more now. But talking about respect, I mean, De Niro's has him in his sights. He's got him. He's got Pacino dead to rights, and then of course the plane's flying over because they're at the airport, and you see the shadow because the lights come on, and Pacino's like, "Oh shit," and shoots him. And you were gonna say White Bear. I see the wheels turning in your head, buddy. Come on, say it.
Just give me a minute. But no, like you're saying, like when I was younger and I first watched it, I was like, so that's it.
Mhm.
This Savick character, even when I was 8 years old, I knew who both of them were. I'd already seen some of their work and all that stuff. And then you see that. And you're like, well, that's it. But as you grow older, you realize that a lot of these situations aren't really handled by these epic, like Pacino flying across the from one crate to another, sliding on the ground, rolling and doing backflips and shooting. It's not realistic.
That wouldn't be Pacino.
And for I'd say a good most of this film, from the the British airmen, who helped train for the gunfight, train them all for the gunfights and stuff like that. They kept it pretty darn realistic.
Yeah.
So
good.
the ending fight there, the boss fight wasn't stupid. It wasn't over the top. It was just, it was a gunfight.
One guy trying to get the edge over the other.
Right.
And that scene was good. And then when he shoots him, De Niro gets shot by Pacino because he catches him at the last second, and then you could tell in the moment he didn't want to do that. He does not want to put this guy down because again, the respect they have for each other. but it's his life or it's either his life or whatever. I liked it, and I love the at the end. De Niro's like, I told you I wasn't going back. He does that typical De Niro cadence, and then Pacino's like, yeah, he does that, like he knows. It's like, and then he puts out his hand. They're holding hands at the end, and that was pretty good. Like I like how, especially with the two iconic actors like that,
Right.
seeing them a climax like that was pretty impressive. And the music kicks in, which is a great soundtrack at the end of the movie. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's like having a friend hold your hand bedside as they're passing away.
Yeah.
It's like two mutual friends who are like, he's dying, and it's a very cathartic ending, and it kind of throws back. It's a very brief moment, and not many people are going to catch this, but if you watch the beginning again, when Robert De Niro is walking by going to steal the ambulance outside the hospital, there's a statue of I want to say it's Mary holding Jesus, and it kind of throws it. Yeah, it kind of throws it to the
little
foreshadowing. All right, of this moment that we're at, where you have.
How did I not catch this? This is why I have you on the show.
Yeah,
wet carpet scenes and Michael Mann thing. This is that's why I love you.
Wow. I'm here to point out all the nerdy stuff.
Well, you got the experience. I wouldn't have noticed them.
Did you notice the shag carpet at the beginning? It's juxtaposed to the hues that are used later on.
No, but this is why of course the wife. Yeah, I get it. She's pregnant. She goes, I probably couldn't make. My wife couldn't make it through that scene either. She got a little misty.
Yeah, if you don't feel something from seeing that scene, then
it was a great scene. I think it was a perfect climax to the movie. One of them was not going to make it through, obviously, and
right.
I kind of figured it would be De Niro not making it, but and then. So the movie ends, soundtrack kicks in, and it's one of those movies. I don't know how you guys feel when you watch a great movie. Mm-hmm. You take it all in after the movie's over. You have to sit there for like a minute and go, "Wow!"
Right?
Like you kind of replays in your head a little bit, and then all you could think about is. And this was back then when you couldn't just replay a movie immediately, or whether you saw it in the movie, like it was on TV. You have to wait till it comes out on video. Now I just go back and replay certain parts all over again. If I had to rate this movie. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's that good.
I actually give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's the perfect crime drama movie. Yeah, I don't think it gets much better than this. It's influenced so much over the years as well, especially with The Dark Knight. I think
Oh God, yeah.
I think it really is a perfect film. Even with the two little scenes that I would cut out.
Sure.
I'd have to give it a 9 because it is one of those stories where it wasn't over the top pushing in your face. Like, sometimes the bad guy is actually the good guy. It wasn't just before that message was like so shoved down your throat, like maybe there's a reason he was a bad guy. Like, and but it is a somewhat a person in the attempt of a redemption story, but in the end, he's done bad. He helped other people do bad. Those those cops at the beginning and security guards wouldn't have been killed if it wasn't for him, running the whole job. He's smart at what he does. He can make great plans, which end up, if you get the wrong type of crew, as we found out, there are, collateral damage along the way. And all these lives are being torn apart because he's still in that, I know how to make money this one way. And I want to do it one more time and then move on with my life. The bad guy can't win. And that's, kind of the moral of the story is like, yeah, there's good and bad on both. But in the end, it can't be the bad guy's a good guy,
Yeah, bad guy's a bad guy. There's no, like you said, there's no backstory as to why this guy became, his mother didn't love him. His dad beat him up. Like, it's just, this is who he is. This is what he grew up to be. He's good at it. And then, your wife brings up a great point here because it doesn't glorify really either side. It shows you how both are toxic in some way. I hate to use that word because that's a 2022 word, but you know what I mean? It's like, just how being a criminal. Yeah, destructive. There you go.
They're self-destructive, or at least they're, Yeah, they'll totally implode whatever shows them any kind of love and affection, because that's not what they love and have affection for.
Right.
Right.
It's two corrosive individuals, and everything around
They
them.
call that toxic masculinity now.
Mhm.
Well,
That toxic masculinity keeps on making so
Damn
many
it.
good movies.
Yeah.
well, they need to stop making so many good movies back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what the hell that means anymore. It's sad that we have to kind of like relegate to nostalgia, which is fine. But there's only a handful of new movies that I can't even think of something recently I've watched. I was like, wow, that was I have to screen all my movies by watching people on YouTube or people I trust and be like, oh, okay, so they liked it, so maybe I will.
I've given up on Marvel. That's for sure.
Oh, me too.
Marvel,
I'm done with them.
Marvel and Disney Star Wars. I might watch. You know what? Maybe I won't, because Gina Carano situation. I was going to say I might watch Mandalorian, but I might not even watch that anymore. They've completely wrecked whatever made Disney fun, whatever made Star Wars fun, whatever made Marvel fun.
I'm gonna keep on living in the past for a little while. Anything that was on VHS and before then, it's probably a little bit more trustworthy. And until then, I'll be watching, Copa's reviews and Nerdrotic and others.
Copa with his non-parody Weird Al reviews, which is fantastic.
Because you saved me so much time.
Well, because of him, I watched All Quiet on the Western Front this weekend.
Oh, and what'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was a brutal movie to watch.
Totally.
It is depressing. But I think it was really good. I mean, it was filmed beautifully. The acting was really good. Really put you in that world, in that time period. I love movies that do that, where you could kind of get a sense of what it was really like back then. I felt bad for the main character. I don't want to give spoilers away, but the way it ends is kind of really depressing. But knowing that it's a true story, I thought it was a really, really good. It surprised me how much I liked it. Not that I didn't. I thought I wouldn't like it. I liked it more than I thought I would. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely watch. It's on Netflix. It's worth the watch.
Yeah, just make sure you have a comedy lined up afterwards.
Oh God, man, yeah, it's graphic and it's brutal. But I think it's a necessary watch.
Reviews coming in.
Well, what do we? What
was the question?
When are you going to start doing your Christmas movie reviews? Because it's getting about that time where you need to start thinking ahead.
Well,
we want to hit those numbers.
I wanted to, yeah. Oh, God,
like Die Hard. Die Hard.
Well, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Let's not go there.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's probably my favorite one.
Yes.
I'm not a big Of course, you got the traditional movies. My wife hates me because I'm not like the biggest Christmas movie fan. Yeah. There's a handful. Christmas Story, obviously.
Yeah.
Scrooge. I mean, Scrooge is great. My dad loves that movie. And then of course, Christmas Vacation. But I think I've seen these movies so much.
Yeah.
That I like Thanksgiving movies better. I like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, obviously.
Yeah.
And I actually like the movie Dutch with Ed O'Neill.
Is that a Thanksgiving movie? I haven't seen that.
It's a Thanksgiving movie, and I haven't seen that in years. I can't find it anywhere. I used to have it downloaded, and I cannot find it anywhere anymore. But I
wish Ed O'Neill had been in more things, man. That dude is tremendous.
He was great. Al Bundy's a legend.
Ed O'Neill in Wayne's World was probably my favorite movie role of Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
breaking the fourth wall and talking about steam rising up a knife wound. Dead of winter.
I think
Indian thought it was someone's soul.
What was that movie he was in with Andrew Dice Clay? It was a bomb. Andrew Dice Clay came out with a movie, Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And Ed O'Neill played a cop in that movie. He's the whole movie, Ed O'Neill.
Okay.
The whole movie. He's only in it for like 5 minutes, but he's the whole movie. Christmas. So I was thinking about doing like a holiday review, just in general. I mean, hey, I'm down. I don't know what movies we could pick, but
I had a brief moment where I was like, maybe I'd review like maybe 2 or 3 Hallmark movies.
Oh,
why would you do that to yourself?
My wife,
my wife, she does that every year. I got to get the app, whatever the app is that has Hallmark, and it's like from Christmas all the way through New Year.
Oh, my You know, like I said, my wife likes action movies and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But when it hits holidays,
It's Hallmark
it's
all
all
the time.
Hallmark.
Bam.
Hallmark
And
all the time.
I walk into the room, watch my wife watch it. It's the same movie. It's the same plot. It's the same people. Well, Mrs. Koi Sasquatch did watch Hallmark. She hasn't watched last year. She didn't like.
You
what
know,
they put out.
I bet you I'm about. If my wife is still in there now that you say that, I'm probably about to get yelled at too. It's a Great American Family now.
Yeah, she
That's
just
what
said
she
no.
watches.
That's why your wife
okay,
just
there
said
you go.
no.
No,
No.
she doesn't watch Hallmark anymore. They went woke.
Yeah,
apparently.
Great American Family. That's what. That's
There you go.
my wife said the same thing. That I don't. Hallmark is starting to turn. They fought against the woke thing for a while.
time.
Now they've given in a little too much.
From what I understand, yeah.
Yeah. So now GAC. I guess that's how you pronounce the Great American Channel is what the new hotness is, as the kids say. That's the new thing. We could do a Christmas review. We could do a holiday review show. I'm down.
I'm down too. I just don't know what I would review. There's not many.
I mean, what do you pick like a trilogy of Christmas movies and do one show, or do you pick one movie and just do a show?
I know.
This is your idea,
White
Whitebeard.
Yeah. What are we
Correct.
doing, White Bear? What's next?
So
Yeah.
we'll make a ultimate Christmas list, of like, most outlandish
Okay.
to whatever, Christmas movies on. Like I said, Die Hard, it's got to be in there at some point. And then you got the Griswolds and all that. And kind of go from there and give quick little stories about that, and
Lethal Weapon, grumpy old
Yeah.
vaping gamer. Yeah, Lethal
Oh,
Weapon
duh.
is it the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Oh, the
just
Die
crazy.
Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could do
Remember when
that.
Die Hard 2 came out? I actually like one of the only ones who actually liked that movie. I like that.
I like it. I like it.
I like all of
think
them.
it's
It's
No.
not. No. Hold on. Don't get me
No,
wrong.
wait.
It's not as good as the first one. Not even close. But
I would say the
My
first four are
favorite-
good. The fifth one sucks.
oh god, it was so
Fifth
bad.
one doesn't
I
count.
didn't like the fourth one because they went with the P. I liked the movie, but I hated they went PG-13 with it.
Oh, well,
Um,
there's a rated R version.
I know. I have it. I
me
actually have
too.
that version.
Yeah.
Much better.
Part 3,
Oh, yeah.
him and Jeremy Irons and Samuel L. Jackson is. Yeah.
It's a
That-
great. It's a great.
That was the
action
first one I
movie.
watched when I was a kid. I was like, "Holy crap, this is," and then I went back.
That
and,
movie is just fun to watch, top to
Which-
bottom.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the writer for that one got investigated by the FBI because they came up with several different scenarios on how to rob the treasury, and that was one of them.
Wow.
So
Oh,
they-
that sucks.
Yeah, so they interviewed him and they said, "Well, how'd you come up with robbing the treasury here in New York City?" And so he was just like, "Well, I just did my homework and it was all like logical. Like how would you get everybody out? You would bomb the subway." And he just went through all this how he came to his conclusions. He just did his homework.
And then yeah.
And then, yeah.
What,
and then-
what, Matt, could you imagine that you create this good movie and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make money off this. People are going to love it. And then the FBI is up your ass.
yeah.
Literally.
Well, the FBI was definitely up his ass
Springsteen
with a
was
microscope.
They were
Now he
up his
works for,
ass.
his name was Peter Stroke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that name.
Now he runs the FBI.
Yeah.
Some Saturday night we got to do a Tombstone review.
Another Val Kilmer.
Well,
Another Val Kilmer
he-
great.
Well, that's what led me to it the other night. I was like, and I saw
could
it
do
at
that.
the time. It's, I got the DVDs.
we could do that
and
on
I
a
thought,
Saturday. Yeah.
I
yeah.
say
I like.
I say-
I want to. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
well, I was just going to suggest that maybe we should all get together and do a seasonal holiday
Yeah.
one.
Oh no, this
Yeah.
is not the end. This love affair. This is the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Well, I'm
We're not
thoroughly enjoying myself.
yeah.
We're not going. This is never going to.
Now we know why we can't see your hands, but we'll have.
Well,
us a whole
if you haven't noticed, the camera has been shaking, but I don't know what he's doing under his desk.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
No, I put mine up
But-
high, so if you can't see what I'm doing.
But I guarantee you, I can lift my desk without my hands.
Ah,
you tripod, you.
is
You
that
gotta-
what we are? The tripod.
Yeah, well, you got to get your workouts in.
Yeah.
Any way you can. If you're doing a stream for 2 hours, you have to do something. You can't just sit there, right?
No,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. My wife wants me to show. So, since in honor of the Italian,
Oh.
I got this as a Sopranos.
oh,
says
gabagool.
gabagool. Yeah. So I had to wear that. I didn't have a I was thinking. I was trying to find a heat shirt like online. I can't.
You
I
can't
don't know
find
what
one.
I'm doing. I can't find one. So Jamie,
Hey.
my wife's like, just wear this. I was like, okay.
Hey, does your family ever call it gabagool?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My family pronounces all the food the incorrect way, just like the typical Italian, very Italian version of every food. I think that's more of a New York Italian thing than an actual
Yeah, because
heritage thing.
we always called it capicola.
Capicola. Well, that's what you're supposed. That's normal.
No.
I don't know what the hell
A,
gabagool is.
we never called it with an A at the end of it. It's just capicola.
Capicola. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so like when I first heard the word gabagool, it was my grandma. I was like, what the hell is that?
This is a
And then I
fake-ass
see the
language.
package. The package says like what you just kept, and I'm like, where do you get gabagool from? It's just
Right.
And
Okay.
then the manicotti, it's manigot, and it's just like the
Manigot,
Sopranos.
yeah.
It's exactly how my family pronounces it.
Yeah, but my family, you see, when I first heard capricola, I went, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
my
compared
dad
to the
said,
A,
that's capricole, and I went, "Oh, okay." That
well,
makes
you
more
say
sense.
correctly.
Grab me a can of Capricola.
Capricola.
But
This
by
is
the
a
way,
fake
gabagool is
language
really
that they're
good. It's-
talking about here, people. This is
It's
made
really
up.
good. This you don't
It is.
understand. People are like, all the white people are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I'm so sorry, white people. We're really throwing you off.
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Well,
I'm
we
just-
are technically white, but not
I
really.
think 3 people
Well.
just off themselves in the chat. They were
Well,
like, what the
When I
hell?
first moved to Arizona, in 1990,
Mm.
I was not called the white. I was called a lot of derogatory names from the people here because back then it
Yeah.
wasn't like it is now. Now you got everybody here, right? It's a massive
Right.
state, city. Phoenix is a big city. I was called a lot of dirty names by people. That's what we call bullying people, and I did not complain about it though. Not like kids today, where we have our safe spaces.
I know. I was going to say, what was that?
I
Safe
didn't have a
space?
safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
us, my
car.
wife said, yeah, us Italians create our own words. We do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. That's Canela's right. Y'all make some.
White
Beautiful
Bear's like, I
words.
make pizza.
I'm making the pizza.
I make the pizza. So,
love it
White Bear's part of the family now. He even had the hand.
he's in. No, he's in. He's a made guy.
You know, I come from a
Wow.
place where they call it like Italian, you know, and
Well,
you
I
get,
got that. I get that now.
yeah,
All
like, you know,
Italian.
I want some of them Italian pepperoni. Is
Those
that
Italians.
Italian pinch sausage on there?
You know what's
Oh,
funny? I live in Phoenix, and we have more Italian restaurants here than Mexican restaurants. Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
more.
Mm.
Yeah.
It has I think I read recently it has the most Italian restaurants per capita than most other cities.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Tennessee's
And
probably
it's
higher
not
up
a lie because when you drive around, it's Italian restaurant here, Italian restaurant there. I think a lot of that is because so many people from Chicago live here and New York live here now.
Why? Why of all places?
I don't know. You know what? It's a melting pot of every other state, but it's very rare you'll actually see people from Arizona who live in Arizona.
Oh, that's just like here because we're in Atlanta, and I
Yeah.
haven't met a native Atlantean.
Atlantean.
It's like an alien. Like, oh, you're from Phoenix? Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
born and raised here. Like, it never happens.
No,
I'm from
that was
Iowa.
just-
I'm from Ohio. I'm from Chicago. I'm from New York, California. Unfortunately, a lot of
It
those
was
here.
just it was just like living in LA. After a while, you talk to somebody and be like, "Oh, I'm from Iowa," blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. But they will never be from LA. When you
I've never been
find
to
someone,
Atlanta. I would love to go to Atlanta one time. Do you like
So
it there?
come-
I mean, obviously you live there, but
not really, no.
okay.
I went to
No, I
concerts
ju-
there. It sucks.
I like Atlanta, but I like being outside of the perimeter. They have two different types of people. There's inside the perimeter, which is inside the freeway, and then there's outside the perimeter, which is outside the freeway. And I'm definitely an outside the perimeter guy. I've lived in cities way too long, and I'm looking to
I'm with you.
expand my horizons.
I am with you on
Move out
that.
to the country.
Yeah, well, where you
Well-
at? You're in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in
Where-
the hotbed of America, man. Tennessee's exploding right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting all these immigrants of of people from up north and all these
my
different places.
Italians.
And
Yeah,
the
my
people who come down
Italians.
and be like, this ain't real. Is this Chicago style or is this Jersey style? I'm like, nah, this is Tennessee pride style. Shut the hell up. You came. It's kind
I was
of
going to say Nashville's the hot spot right now, right? Or
well
Chattanooga, hot Nashville.
everywhere around
Well, just
Nashville,
everywhere. Yeah.
that 50-mile
Yeah.
radius, and I'm within that 50-mile radius, and I tell you what, it made our housing market boom before before
Yeah.
everything actually countrywide started going up. So
Yeah.
and I was telling you about that, how house went from X amount to way like, but then where do you go? Even if you sell your house, like
well, that's the same situation here where Arizona in general used to be a really affordable place to live, and no, it just grew too fast. Too many. What happened was investors from California came in, bought up property, and so many of them came in. They raised the prices to a point where even middle class people, it's just unaffordable. So it's unfortunate. I have family members who wanted to move here, and now they can't yet because they have to go out further. So
how's Bullhead City looking?
Bullhead City is. I probably just say if you want to live in hell, that's where you got to live because first of all, it's how hot it gets there. Right. It's close to Laughlin, Nevada.
Right across the river.
Really right across the river. I've been there plenty of times. It's that place has looked the same for the last 30 years since I've been visiting.
Has it?
Yeah, it's really
that was like supposed to be the hot spot for a while there.
Bullhead City, Kingman, Arizona was another place that's halfway between here and Vegas. And that was the place when we moved was the hot spot. Like, this because of it's halfway to California, halfway to Nevada. Everybody's going to move there, and it just became a truck town, like a truck stop passing through town. It's grown, but not what they thought. Well, so yeah, I am like you, Copa. I am getting tired of living around people, and I'm jealous of Whiskey Banger because Whiskey Banger has
that rant
a family cabin, and it's literally 8,000 feet up on a mountain. I'm talking about isolated, 70 something square feet of nothing. No people, no neighbors. I think the Predator lives up there, or Sasquatch or something. I don't know. It's where I want to go. I told him I'm going to move with him.
Maybe.
Thank you. See, I can make my own bottled
there.
water. Canoli Sasquatch. He's got his own water source, solar power up there. It's amazing.
Where's he live? NORAD?
No, well, that's where he wants to live. He lives not far from me. He's about 3 miles from me now. But when he retires, he wants to be
really
isolated.
Sounds great.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, my wife and I, we grew up in a little city inside of Los Angeles, Long Beach, and that's where we're born and raised, and then we moved here to Atlanta, and I think we've just come to realize that we're done. We're done with city. I don't think we're done with the coast because we miss the coast.
Sure,
but we're definitely done.
Thought anything about Florida?
Yeah, I don't like swimming in the air. So in that air. So yeah, we thought about Florida because they're really free. Now, you know what we did think is moving up near you, White Bear. We were really looking at Nashville, really eyeballing it.
Yeah, well, I saw that she mentioned that it's a dream state. So, I mean, it's
exploding.
It's really in the middle. You can get anywhere that you really want to get to. So it's.
My wife would love to go there.
Coming down, by the way. So.
And everybody's like, "Well, Tennessee's hot." I'm like, "I live in Arizona."
It's different hot.
Tennessee,
trust me, dude. Trust me,
they say in the summer,
coming from California, Arizona area, the dry heat that you get there is beautiful and nice, but the humidity that we get down here is
bad.
Absolutely, it is absolutely the most hellacious thing you've ever experienced if you're not used to it.
That's what I hear. Because I have some friends that live in the South, and they're like, "Yeah, it's bad." I have family who lives in Texas and down in Houston. Brutal summers, obviously, because it's But I will say, one misconception about Arizona, especially Phoenix, is that yes, it's dry heat in the summer. It's like opening the oven after you're cooked in it for a while, and it's like, holy shit. But our July, August time frame is where our humidity hits because it's a thunderstorm season.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not like what you guys go through, but when you have 114-degree temperatures and like your dew points in the 70s almost, and the thunderstorms are coming in,
a lot of storms out there.
It's just like soup. It's like, oh god, get me to. But now this time of year, it's perfection. It's 70s. It's dry. 50s and 40s at night. We have cold periods here and there, but yeah, maybe we can all just get rich off YouTube and buy a compound somewhere in Tennessee. How about that?
Yeah, I say we go to Whiskey's house.
Yeah.
I want to live in his cabin.
Yeah, we'll just add to his cabin.
Yeah, we'll just build. Oh, it's beautiful up there. You want to talk about isolation? It's got a firing range up there.
Yeah, he said Branch Davidian stuff the other night.
It basically will be the new Branch Davidians. Yeah.
Yeah, am I
the ATF can't come shoot our dogs.
Did I just join a cult?
I mean, if you consider when you start wearing Cannoli Sasquatch shirts merch, then yeah, you'll be part of the cult.
That'll make streaming a whole lot easier.
Oh God, yeah. Well,
here comes the ATF. Where's my dog?
Yeah, FBI. I'll talk about the FBI and ATF. Yeah,
that's the next Gavin McGinnis or whatever. You
ever watch that Waco's TV series?
Oof. I haven't watched
never
it
did.
Yet.
I know.
Very good. Actually, for a TV series, it was really good. Really depressing and makes you hate the alphabet agencies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, that came out at the same time I was watching Chernobyl. So
Chernobyl.
There's no way.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. But there's no way I was going to go back to back with Chernobyl and then Waco.
No, good idea. If you have a chance to watch Waco, watch it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's only maybe 8 to 10 episodes, miniseries. It's really good though.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to catch it.
Chernobyl was really depressing. You want to talk about a depressing ass?
Oh,
but it was amazing.
Every night it was like, well, why am I even living? What's the point of even being here?
What these poor people went through.
Cannoli said that she's down for the compound, so
I'm ready. See Ryan, my boy Ryan G in the chat. He lives here. He's a fireman here. Actually, he wants out. Mm-hmm. You do miss the sea. You don't get any seasons here. It's hot to mild. Now, like I was telling Copa, it's beautiful in the winter all the way through to about May. And once May comes, it's basically the same temperature, same weather all the way through to October again. We do have parts of northern Arizona that are beautiful. I'm talking about you can go from 80 degrees here to snow within a 2-hour drive. So it's very versatile that way. But
yeah, we get the ranging from 12 to 19 degrees in the coolest part all the way to like 105. So it's you get every season here.
Amateur hour.
Well, the humidity.
I know. Yeah,
but like in Tennessee, it's one of those places where you just wait a day, the weather will be different. Like last week, I went from wearing shorts and t-shirt to work. Next day, I had to have pants and bring a coat.
That's what we do here. Well, this is how you know you live in Arizona too long. It's 70 degrees yesterday, and I was freezing.
Yeah,
so it's like. It's like, oh God, it's chilly, and my family back in New Jersey is like, are you a woman? I'm like, well, what is a woman?
What is a woman? Beautiful.
So we got to come up with a new plan. So I guess obviously I like this movie review thing. Mm-hmm. That's something I've been wanting to start. So we could definitely continue on with this whenever you guys are available. Of course, I'll always double check, but a holiday thing is not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in
I'm
December,
still saying Tombstone.
We can do Tombstone on a Saturday. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down.
With that. We'll coordinate with our agents.
Okay.
With each other.
Yeah. Talk to your Asians.
I'll talk to my Mrs. Sasquatch, and I'll have her do all my collaborating with my friends, and we'll go from there. So, all right, White Bear, tell everybody where they can find you. What you got coming up? I know you got a ton of political shit coming up, so let them know.
Yeah, I only got to like one video today, so I was pretty. I was actually doing all the farm outside work and stuff like that.
Dude, your edits are really on point too.
I appreciate it. I'm getting there. It's just hard to find all the footage that is like constantly coming out, and then adding that mixed in with memes. That's probably the hardest part, is getting hold of all that. But work, because regular job and all that.
I know.
Yeah, the pain. But we're getting there, and we're gonna keep on spreading it, because one day I do want that to be my thing. But either way, you can find me at White Bear 2. I think those are all connected together there at YouTube, and I just started exporting stuff over to Rumble, because you kind of inspired me to do that the other day, Cannoli. So
yes, good idea to get diversified in your other platforms, because YouTube is a little fickle.
Well,
I immediately started uploading to Rumble just
It's
because
smart.
you never know.
Oh, and check out Odyssey as well. Odyssey is a great resource. It's blowing up, and that's another one.
If you
Some
guys
of
want
us here have enough
Raw.
subscribers, Copa, to be on Odyssey
Yeah.
and have unlimited video loaded. So I'm just saying.
I would love that.
How many is he
Someday.
up to now?
He's up. What were you at? Like 2? Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because every time I look, it goes up.
My channel?
Yeah, it wasn't like
my
two-
channel
it
last
was-
time. It was like 212 earlier today.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I
No,
feel
you
like
deserve
have
it.
to hit
You deserve
1,000.
it.
Yes,
Your channel's
sorry.
dude, that's the dream, right? To hit that monetization number.
Oh,
We can have some real parties.
yeah. We'll have
That's
to be a
what-
little bit more careful with what was said.
If we keep this going, then there's no
Then we
limit to how far we can go.
Oh yeah.
Then we can have what we love to hear, super chats.
Super
Mhm.
super chats. We could have super chats, and we could do our own Friday Night Tight version of the Cannoli Sasquatch streams.
There
We
you
have
Yeah.
like 85 people.
Gotta get my
on-
hoodie in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta represent. That way I can get my Coke and hookers.
All of a sudden, everybody went through in the chat, just started exploding with comments. Did I, s-
About
did I just say just how awesome we are?
Oh, hey dude,
Gr-
y'all.
Grumpy old vaping gamer says in Virginia we got 4 seasons: frozen tundra, comfy but rainy, hot and humid in the current season, temperature Powerball.
Nice.
Whiskey Banger says great show, gents. Oh no, thank you, Whiskey. I'll see you Friday, buddy. Copa, where can everybody find you? What's on the agenda? How many new what kind of non-parody reviews are we getting this week?
Okay, so first of all, the non-parody review that you're getting this week will be Yellowstone, because finally I get to review it and not
Nice.
just have it come out of nowhere.
Right.
This one has I've been cooking up for a while now, so I finally got it finished actually today. I'll be releasing Wednesday, 12
Nice.
p.m. Eastern. So
Look at you.
On the
yeah.
ball.
And,
So you people do
can-
this like pre-recorded stuff. I don't do any of this shit. I just live.
Yeah,
Here's
see,
what I do. I live stream and I clip out my show throughout the week because I don't have the patience like you guys do. You guys are much better than I am at this.
I see.
So-
I see how you do. See, I think the other way around. I'm like, how does he fucking do an entire live stream for 2 hours
2.5
and
hours.
13
I do it
minutes?
twice a week, and I'll tell you what the pain is though. Is on Saturday morning I wake up before everyone, and it takes me 5 hours to edit everything, and I schedule everything out for the week.
for your shorts and stuff like that.
So I do try to do as many shorts now because that's what YouTube's pushing. And I was told by someone who knows someone and higher up in the YouTubes that they want to see consistent videos out at least multiple times a week.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take the best parts. I take like 4 or 5 clips and a bunch of shorts, edit them down, put them up, and schedule a short and a video and a short and a video once a day all the way until my Friday stream, because Friday I'm on live. I don't know if it's gaining traction. It seems to kind of be working because my subscriptions have slowly gone up, but
Mhm.
I
What
don't
do
know.
you? How many? You got like what? 160?
I was at 152 after the stream. That was like a few minutes ago though. So
And then
I
the
don't
purge
know.
happens.
Oh yeah,
It happens every day.
It's getting you on that purge, man.
Yeah, what is up with the purge, dude? You're like
I don't
It seems
know.
like every
You
day you're
know,
saying, "Hey, I'm getting purged."
Yeah.
And I
I'm
used to think
crying
that
like a
was
little
fake.
girl.
I thought that was like, man, I always have to hear like the quartering, like, YouTube's done another
Not true.
purge. And
I don't know if they go
Shut
after
that
certain
up, but it's real.
YouTubers. I went
But
to
it's
bed
not
last
like
night at
you're.
1:50.
It's not like you're controversial.
Well, they
right?
think I am. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
true. You know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be saying that.
No.
It's
What I
true.
think what I've heard is that people, when I go into other people's chats to say hello to people I support, they're like, "Hey, subscribe." They kind of consider that like a fake subscription kind of thing, where it's like false advertising in a way. YouTube. This is what I've heard. So they'll literally go through and take away those subscriptions, and they will take away subscriptions if people subscribe through a chat, but don't actually watch your content.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is that. So I woke up. I went from 152 last night and woke up at 145.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just used to it. So what I do is I bitch about it, and then my numbers go back up because they did go back up a little bit about a few hours later. And then YouTube hit me up on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is why this is happening," and I'm like, whatever. So, but I am at a point where I'm higher than where I wanted to be. I think the goal you've seen it was 100 by the end of the year.
Right.
I passed that way. I mean,
Right.
Cope is my
Right.
champion. He's like, you're gonna hit 200 by the end of the year. This is
You
gonna be a
are.
new goal. I'm like, I appreciate that, but
You know what? And it's kind of funny because I wanted to hit 200 by Thanksgiving, and you championing me has put me to wherever I'm at 212, and that was ridiculous. And now I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like, do I come out and say, hey, you overachievers, now we're going for 230?
Yeah. Do it.
yeah, I have my OCD would make me watch the subscription numbers in the beginning. Now I just kind of I've learned to be like, if it'll happen, it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna force it.
Oh, what is that? Let's see. Your YouTube studio. How often do you look at that crap?
I try to
just
look at it
like
like twice a day. And
Me
that's
too.
it.
I've narrowed it down from 16 times to. What are you trying to show us? Your TV, your screen?
What is that?
trying to show
1,000
off?
subscribers? Huh?
I did gain 2 more within the past 30
Oh,
minutes.
congratulations.
Yeah, I got up to 152 again, so I'm right. So if I wake up tomorrow to
Oh,
145
yeah,
again,
that's not even going to show up, is it?
No, what is it?
No.
come
Okay.
into the light, Caroline.
Well, last week
This
when
house is
put up
clear.
those, like
This house is-
6 videos and made 2 of them shorts and all that. That's when
Yeah,
like,
one of your political videos last week it blew up, right?
yeah,
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 what-
9,000.
you guys do what? That's great. That's great.
So awesome.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Well, I'm glad we finally did this, and this I think is going to be a new staple of the show or any show I do in the future. So I really enjoyed this. I love this movie, and I guess we have to do a Tombstone one because White Bear is going to find us and kill us if we don't.
I got a
so.
Tombstone boner right now, so we got to do it.
Okay, we can definitely set that up.
I like
I
how
have
we're
no
picking
problem with
movies that I have memorized from start to finish.
Exactly.
You just have to
So-
rewatch it.
Those are
Yeah, I will.
classic.
It's a great movie.
Mhm.
So we just have to
It's-
pick classic movies, retro movies. Well, JT's channel, the After the Weekend channel, got me hooked on this.
Mhm.
I was just on their channel doing Tremors, a Tremor review.
Oh,
review.
yeah.
I remember
Um,
seeing that.
Mhm.
I had to rewatch it because God,
I
it's been
mean,
so
seeing
long,
you talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Tremors, not. I
but-
remember.
Yeah, no,
Tremors.
it was a good show. I liked that premise. I don't want to copy anybody but I like the idea of doing movie reviews. I love movies, even some TV shows. We can definitely add that into the curriculum. And then
Yeah.
I like this idea. Now, White Bear, we'll have to talk and cope after whatever our schedules are. We can do a Tombstone one if you want to do it on a Saturday. I know your work schedule's kind of you got long days, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
But
I'll do
it.
yeah, Saturdays and later on Sundays or like Mondays, kind of like what we did here and all that. That's good for me. But Saturday nights, so
Yeah, we can do
I
that.
don't know how late Copa can stay awake and all that for that. I know you've been up.
I could
pretty
stay awake all night, baby.
late.
Well, he's got a kid on the way. He ain't going to be staying. He's going to be up anyway.
I could stay up all night until.
Oh, when's she
midnight.
due? If you don't mind us asking.
She's due May 6th,
Okay,
Oh wow,
which is actually my father's birthday.
That-
which is
that's a
interesting.
good month.
awesome.
That's a good month.
Hey,
Is it?
I
Is
was
that
born
when
in
you were
May.
born?
That's a
so-
White Bear month right there.
Oh, it's
my birthday
Both
month.
of you
This is-
both of you were born in May. Is that for
Mhm.
Yeah.
real?
I swear to God.
You're weirdos.
May
all
the
you-
force be
all
with
you
you.
are.
All you.
I'm
May
a
people.
yeah.
Whiskey
I'm a
Banger
Taurus, so
was the last subscriber, so go him.
Whiskey Banger
Yeah,
was
Whiskey
your
Banger's
last
good.
subscriber?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get Whiskey Banger a channel because he needs one. That guy has a knowledge of
Definitely needs
things that
Heck yeah, everything that y'all were talking about on the
You know
live
what
stream that I
you know
caught
what he
you on.
needs? He needs one surviving out in the wilderness by himself.
dude, he could do
You know
it.
how-
No, he could.
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
he
I'm
could be
saying.
like Survivor Man, but with a gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's
There's-
what I mean. He could have. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. There's
Okay.
there is this one YouTube channel where there was this guy who decided to give it all up and build his own house in the wilderness, and that was his entire channel, was him trying to figure out how to build this house in the middle of the woods.
And
He
millions.
probably has 7. He probably has
Millions.
7 million subscribers.
Yeah,
Hey, speaking of JT again, there he is, and he's talking about the sex bots invading my stream. Well, I mean, my moderators probably. Unfortunately, in my house, everybody's sick with that virus
hmm
right now. So Mrs.
no
Sasquatch
orgy.
is trying to not hallucinate on antibiotics.
get well soon, Mrs. Sasquatch and little.
What are you trying to say,
Sasquatch.
JT? Am I special because I'm getting the sex bots?
It's the mustache.
Maybe it's because it's Copa's bald head. Let's face it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
guys. It does.
No,
It does-
apologize.
It does look like one testicle, doesn't it?
One giant testicle.
One
It's
giant.
not shriveled
testicle.
Yeah.
Here-
Tripod. All right.
Oh
Let me check my
God.
emails.
Yeah, I have been having an idea of getting a panel for a Saturday show anyway. So we could do our movie reviews and just kind of add on.
Yeah.
So appreciate this. I will be back. I'm actually going to be on JT show Wednesday, late night with Cap at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you can find me there. Then I'm doing my own Whiskey and Cannolis podcast Friday at 7:05 p.m. I have a special guest, Vex Electronica, who has her own podcast on Twist. We're going to talk movies, video games, all that good shit. She's awesome. I love the collaborating thing. It's my new thing, so I want to do more of it. Yeah, even with you two, you're okay.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I love you guys. It's been awesome. Of course, I'm going to see you on Twitter. I wake up to 16,000 notifications, and it's mostly these two. So they make my mornings fun. And it's been great, people. Thank you for all the people who watch and new subscribers. I really appreciate it. We'll be back with a Tombstone review, apparently. White Bear is trying to run my channel.
I'll be your Huckleberry, baby.
I appreciate it. We will see you next time.